Oh, yeah, look at that. Woo! Come on. Wednesday morning, Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. What a morning. And those sons of bitches kept me up all night after that win last night. Got the Rally Roach in the house, certainly. I'm usually the first to kiss it, so I don't want to, mess up the rotation, but we do need to go back and calculate our record since the Roach invaded our studio here on Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you guys. Let's get our heads right. It's going to be harder to get your head any more right than it's been gotten for you after last night. It was insane. Another come-from-behind victory for our San Diego Padres, man. Just an incredible evening. And again, one of those games where I couldn't sleep after. I was so charged up emotionally that I just could not fall asleep. I was just hyped. We'll talk all about it. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of this program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Oh, that was a nice one last night. Not one comeback, two comebacks.
Two. God.
You feel like you get the first comeback, and then now you've got to do another one that's asking a lot.
I believe the Rally Roach is 18-5.
Good God.
If my calculations are correct.
That is no joke, man. That is a real deal winning streak right there. Since that creep busted in here and scared the dickens out of all of us that morning, 18-5. And I showed. Were you here when I showed you when I opened my wallet? I'll hide my address. But my kids put a roach.
Yeah.
And so I now
practical joke roach.
So I now carry this roach around with me everywhere I go. And when I went to like CVS the other day to get a prescription, I opened my wallet. I was like, it gets me a little bit every time because he's just chilling in there. And 18-5 is staggering. That's like a bit. That is that's a good sample size for a bit. 18-5. This team. They are literal cockroaches. I mean, they just don't go away. You can stomp them. You can put all sorts of little roach hotels in. They win. They find a way to win, and they did it twice last night, and it was fantastic. Just a fantastic night. So I'm so fired up today. I could barely get my thoughts organized. Also, when you sleep 3 hours, it's hard to get your thoughts organized.
That's because you couldn't get to sleep after the win. And then you have to get up very early for work.
Yeah, and turn your light on over there. You look a little corpse-ish. There you go. Much better. Yeah, get your...
I came in a little late today.
Yeah, everyone was staggering a little bit behind today. It's fine. Like I said, I woke up and I was like, I don't want to get out of bed today, but I'm excited to go talk about this dub. I should let everybody know. I just wanted to wish a happy National Senior Citizens Day to all of our senior citizens out there. What's
the official designation for senior citizen now? Because
hello on Facebook.
55? Is it 60? What do we officially get to be a senior citizen at?
I don't know, bro. I feel like we're close, though.
I mean, they start sending you like AARP
Paulie.
Stuff. Like before 50 now. They're like.
There's nothing that makes me laugh harder than that song, dude. Hit it again. Run it back from the beginning. Is my favorite.
The beginning?
Yeah, right here. I think once you start moving and grooving to that song, you're officially a senior citizen.
This is really funny yesterday because yesterday I posted on Instagram. It was National Radio Day.
Yeah, I love National Radio Day.
Posted little pictures of National Radio Day or whatever. And our buddy Jack
Taylor.
Jacksaw.
Oh, Jacksaw, yeah. Jack Taylor.
He DM'd me and he goes, there's the three of us in the studio. And he goes, which one are you again? Are you the one that pees his pants? And I just wrote back, Jack, I work with the elderly.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
I missed my exit this morning on the way into work. It's a very senior moment of me.
So Benny is, by the way, 5:32 on the dot. Not a minute earlier, not a minute later.
Have you ever gotten here earlier and just sat in your car
Till
until
5:32?
5:32?
Yes.
I
You know
have.
he has.
Yes.
100%.
So it's 5:38, and I go, oh, he's on drugs. He has started some sort of drug habit that we are unaware of, and he's on drugs. Because Ben Higgins would never walk in 6 minutes late, which is really, 20 minutes early. But For you, it's so on time, 5:32. I know I can count on it. When it was 5:38, I was like, I have to text his mom. And I have to find out if everything is okay. I'm going to start calling Highway Patrol. Did you see a guy on the side of the road, perhaps, with a flat tire? He has no idea how to change it. Can you please help him ASAP? So I did get a little worried. I will ask from now on, if you're going to be later than 5:32, a courtesy text
I almost did text thinking
great.
that you guys were going to start worrying, but I knew I was going to be there by 5:38. And that seemed like 6 minutes was not enough to actually send a text.
I'm going to give you a 5-minute grace period.
But
if it's past 37, I'm going to need...
I counted on my autopilot. I really was just thinking about the game. I was listening and thinking about the game last night, and I was going... Just kind of getting into it, excited, and all of a sudden I look up and I go, oh, no. Another mile and a half past my exit to another exit, then turn around back another mile and a half back, get off, 2 extra signals. It was very frustrating, very senior moment of me.
Well, and there people are already in the chat. What if you feel like a senior citizen? Paulie's right. I mean, he does. He works with 2 senior citizens pretty much. Because I'll be 50 next year. You'll be 49 coming up in a couple months. And they said you start getting AARP at 50 plus. So do you know how fast I'm going to intercept that mail and throw it out of my house so that my young wife doesn't see it? If she starts getting AARP mail for me, I'm never having sex again. Never. It's never going to happen. So
just move you into one of those senior living communities right away.
Just put him in the back room, please. Make him as comfortable as you can. But holy cow, dude. So it got me thinking, though. Like, remember when you were young, everything recovered. Like, you just recovered from everything. You could...
Within minutes.
Yeah, and if not minutes, like a day. Like, Paul, your ankle... When you were 21, you're back on the court.
Oh, two days.
2 days later, right? Like the healing. When I would go to the dentist and they would, clean my teeth and rip everything apart, it would be, I was good by the end of the day. I had to go back in yesterday to see my beloved Dr. Skeens. So they put the temporary crown on last week, you guys remember, and it felt like somebody hit me in the face with a hammer. Yesterday, they had to numb it up. They had to take the temporary off and put the permanent crown on. Did a great job, but hurts. It hurts. And by the time I got home, I had numb mouth. One side of my mouth was, so I get home. Hi, Dada. How was school today? First day of class. How did it go? It was good. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay now. It's probably going to start hurting later. So I would drink water, and it would like dribble out of my mouth. And I go, this sucks. And, bro, he put so much Novocaine in, I couldn't even eat dinner. I had to eat dinner at like 8:45.
Well, you told us last time he didn't put enough. Well, it was hurting.
And
so he decided to put
in.
more in this time just right off the bat.
Bro, he lubed it up. And so I got home, and I was laying in bed. The pain started to come. But the numb mouth never went away. And I thought to myself, out of all of life's like minor physical inconveniences, is numb mouth maybe the worst? I started doing a would you rather in my own head, and I did, would you rather have diarrhea or numb mouth for 4 hours? And I choose diarrhea. I choose it. If I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm home.
Yeah, if you don't have easy access to a good bathroom.
Yeah, you take the diarrhea.
I think I'd rather have the numb mouth.
Oh, you would?
If I didn't have easy access. If you did it,
but no, you're at home, and you're, watching the game. I couldn't snack. I couldn't really drink anything. It was a lot of pain, but then the mouth was just like this. I actually was getting into it with my kids because they were being turds, and I'm like, you guys have no respect for anything in this house. And it doesn't hold the same weight. Go to your room. If you're not going to eat your dinner, then you're not going to eat your dinner. Nothing later. So I'm like, this sucks, dude. I would rather have diarrhea than numb mouth. How about you?
I don't like numb mouth.
It sucks, Paulie. It's like one of the worst. It's a trap. Yeah, that's what I felt like, dude.
I think a burnt tongue is worse.
Oh, that is a bad one.
Because with a burnt tongue, it's not going away anytime soon.
No.
You do feel like numb mouth will disappear at some point.
I burned my mouth last Wednesday on my first day of staycation.
On what?
Pizza.
Oh, that'll get you. That cheese slides
off.
Just burns.
It's just too fast.
Bro, I'm telling you, I can't stand it. I could not stand it yesterday. That's how bad it is. I would
had
take
that bloody nose last year. That was awful.
Remember that
it didn't
in the middle
hurt
of the
so
show?
much, but it just wouldn't stop.
It would
was-
not.
God, yeah.
That was
It would
bad.
not stop. Holy cow, man. Timmy says he saw me on the highway with my blinker on for 4 miles. Yeah, that sounds about right, me. That sounds like me. Yeah, like I said, I barely slept last night. I had numb mouth. I had massive pain in the side of my face. But I'm here this morning. Padres really picked me up. Really picked me up with that dub last night. One of the. I mean, how many times have we? How many times have we said, "Well, that's just one of the best games of the year"? This is again one of the best games of the year last night.
The list is almost impossible to compile. Like a top 10 list of best Padres wins, you're going to leave 5 or 6 really good wins out of that list at this point. It's a tough one to go back and go through some of the best games. I mean, so many good ones that just pop right to mind. And add last night to the ever-growing list, because that really was a terrific game. I said the game before, which was kind of a pretty normal game, felt kind of like a playoff-type competition between the Padres and Twins. Last night, if the first game was a playoff game, last night was one of those classics that would be running for years and years if it was a postseason game.
Yeah,
just that terrific. Great, they had a great pitcher on the other side.
Very good. 2
comebacks back and forth. I'm looking forward to talking about this one coming up on the show today.
Me too.
All right, so why don't we just get into it?
That's what I was hoping for.
All right, we will come back. We will set the menu. I can't wait for Sammy Levitt's
buddy.
second straight game of winning highlights. This one with his first home run calls as the play-by-play voice of the Padres. Jesse's Incorporator, all of that. And a little surprise, we got some early Padres tickets to give away. For the early risers out there in our next segment, we're going to be giving away Padres Mets tickets to Saturday's game. Huge series coming up this weekend, and you'll have a chance to win some Padres tickets early in the show. So stay tuned. More Ben and Woods coming up right after a check of traffic with Kelly Danick on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's a big league Wednesday. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, the 97.3 The Fan. Good show coming up today. Looking forward to it. Before we get to the menu, did have an item of news before the game yesterday when the Padres placed Ha-Seong Kim on the injured list, and you shouldn't have been shocked if you listened to us talking about it yesterday. This was always a possibility. Sounds simply like they weren't sure if he could be back in 5 days or 7 days, and they decided, well, let's just make the move retroactively to Monday and give him the full 10 days, and hopefully at the end of those 10, he'll be rested and ready to go, and the shoulder will feel good enough that he can insert himself right back into the starting lineup. But that means for the next week and a half, Padres will be without their starting shortstop. And while Tyler Wade has gotten the start the first couple of games, Mike Shildt remains very
coy
about whether that's going to continue. He did have to bump Xander Bogaerts over to short for the ninth inning after they had pinch hit for Tyler Wade late in that game yesterday. Is that a sign of things to come? He said afterwards, we really don't want to move Xander over. We like him at second base where he's been, but I had a conversation with him, and he said he'd be willing to do it, especially if the Padres had a lead late, so it came to play yesterday. I still get the sense we may see Jake Cronenworth there at least a few times over the next few days.
Excuse me. Why do you get that sense? Is it just a feeling? Because I'll be honest with you, I also get it. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because, they've slid him over to second, a bunch this year to make room for Luis Ariz or Donovan Solano or whatever. Why do you get the sense it's Croney? He has not played there in forever.
I still think it's Xander.
Croney is not. When's the last game Croney played at short? I saw somebody tweet it last night, but I can't remember. It's been a while.
I can find out.
He played, the last time he played a lot at short, I think, was either 2020 or 2021. It's been a while.
When's the last time he played
went over to short? I'm not sure.
A half inning?
Not sure about the answer to that one.
I think it's still been a while.
I think the real question.
He hasn't appeared in a game at short since 22.
Okay, so that's
he
2
played
years ago.
9 games.
9 games in 22.
In
2
some
years.
capacity.
Okay.
2021, he played 41 games at short.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's a guy, and again, I'm not crapping on you because I actually had the same thought. I wonder if it's going to be because of all the, I don't want to say drama, but because of all the consternation about Xander moving off short, and you go through that. You plow ahead. Everyone joins forces. You all start pulling on the same rope. Xander's done a good job at second. Now, you know what I mean? I totally get it.
The reason I say it is that I've heard Mike Shildt say they seem reluctant to move Xander back after all the work they've done to move him over to second base.
That's it.
Even though he did play there in the ninth inning. And I just also can't see Tyler Wade just starting every single game at short.
I hope not.
While Ha-Seong Kim is out. He's got like a 540 OPS. He's not an everyday player. He's a late inning replacement. He's a defensive sub. He's a pinch running sub. So that leaves Manny moving over, Jackson Merrill moving in from center, and I don't necessarily see either of those things. I know Manny could handle it, but Jake just seems he's already the one who moves positions most often of those guys. So he seems most likely. Now the real question is, what happens when they face a left-handed starter? And they want to get a right-hander in there. Donovan Solano, you get him into the lineup, but I don't see
he's no shortstop.
Donovan Solano at this stage of his career moving in at shortstop. He's played there before, but I don't necessarily see that. So
Matt Batten, if I recall, was corners really mostly when he was up. He filled in for Manny.
Now you put him at third and Manny at short, but
again, I mean, Manny is Manny. I not that he couldn't do it, not that any of these couldn't do it. And again, hopefully, no, you're right. We're not talking about just one inning here. We're not talking about a late inning defensive replacement, adult ball style, who wants short? Go get it. We need 3 outs. You know what I mean? You got guys that are capable of doing it. But, I kind of assumed it would be Matthew Batten yesterday. Shortstop goes down. You call up a guy. But again, Paulie, pull up his game logs of where Matthew Batten's played. If my memory serves, he was playing first and he was playing third, mostly for the San Diego Padres. So to call up another corner infielder when you need a shortstop doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They have a plan.
I was surprised that it was maybe Batten that even got the call and not Eggy Rosario, who they've been.
See, he's also a corner. He's also a corner guy.
Right.
So, I mean, again.
But offensively, I felt like he may bring more to the table than Matt Batten.
Yeah.
If you're going to add someone to the
appeared
roster.
in 2 games total at short.
Ever. Yeah, all right. That call up is as head scratching, I think, as I thought it was when it originally happened. I originally leaned Eggy too, but again, if you have to fill innings at shortstop, and your 540 OPS is Tyler Wade, who's not particularly a great shortstop either.
I'm sorry. This whole conversation is ridiculous to me and funny in that we've kind of joked about the whole lineup is full of shortstops, and one guy goes down, and we're like, who the hell plays short?
Well, it's funny, too, because it's like Paulie, if Ben and I came to you January 1st and said, look, this is a hard conversation. You're here. You're part of the team. We're turning your mics off. No Reindl Report. You're not on camera. And you're like, dude, I love you. I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll commit to it. Yeah, it sucks, bro, but this is what we have to do. And then 2 months later, well, Paulie, why don't you come on back for a while? And then 2 months later, why don't you go back the other way? There's something about, and especially...
Yeah, it'd be stupid.
It'd be stupid, but especially at that level of like, there's a like, we've gotten through this. We've done this. This was that hurdle that we needed to climb. It makes sense. If it were me.
You don't want to muddy the waters.
You don't want to muddy the waters.
We talked about it yesterday. We talk about it all the time. Mike Schilt has to manage egos. I'm like, how about managing the ego of the guy that you just signed to an 11-year contract as a shortstop?
But you already massaged that ego down to get him to move to second, and now you're going to be like, hey, bud, I was just kidding. You are our shortstop. It's just, not that Xander is a pain in the ass, not that he wouldn't do it, not that he probably wouldn't be a little happy to do it, but again, no one likes to be jerked around. Everyone wants to know what their role is, and then for, like, if Ben and I came back to you and we're like, just for this week only, we need 5 Reindl reports, and we need you on camera, and we need you really locked in.
It'd be more like if you replaced me but still had me in the building, and then that guy that you replaced me with was out for 2 weeks.
And then we brought you back
and you're
in.
like, who the hell do we have that can play producer?
Paulie, I just call Paulie. The guy we already booted.
Like, hello?
Yeah. Paulie's out answering phones. He's back
I
for
think
a week.
Xander's kind of pissed off already.
Well,
one way or the other.
Here's the thing. I think he was. I don't think he is anymore. But now you run that risk. And this is just, we're just spitballing. We have no idea. But you can see why they're not just like, oh, no problem. Slide him over.
You don't want to start the clock again on...
Yeah. Am I your shortstop?
Xander's
or am I not your
emotional
shortstop?
stability is short.
But I will say this about this team, and Xander Bogaerts is no different. You have a lot of guys on this team that have made sacrifices. A lot. And a lot of guys have played really good team baseball. You would hate for that to stop, just because somebody gets injured. You really would. And if the conversation with Xander is a tough one about, yeah, man, you made me need to move over there for 9 days and then move you back to second. Are you cool with that? And Xander goes, yeah, I'm cool with that. I want to win a World Series, which, by the way, seems to be the very pervasive attitude on this team. I'm not in that clubhouse. I have no idea. You could see how it would go wrong, but I do think that's probably the best move by far, is to put Xander Bogaerts back at short.
By the way, don't expect any announcement from the Padres. Mike Schilt has made it pretty clear that you'll find out who the shortstop is on a day-to-day basis when the lineup comes out.
We'll put the lineup out, you'll see it.
You'll see who's at short. And it's nothing is a definitive statement. They're simply going to be a shortstop every day.
Yeah, we'll post the lineup every day. But yeah, Wade'll get a great opportunity. We got righties ready tomorrow, so pretty good opportunity for him again.
Probably going to be Wade again today, apparently. But again, I can't see that 10 straight days.
I can't either.
Of Tyler, no days off, 10 straight days of Tyler Wade. That's your best option in a pennant race,
right,
in a playoff chase. He's playing him every single day against righties while Ha-Seong Kim is gone. I don't know. All right, here's the menu for the program today. We'll get right into it with our Padres wrap-up, all the highlights.
Xander quotes in Kevin A.S.'s newsletter we'll get to next.
And calls of the win yesterday come from behind 7-5 win over the Minnesota Twins. We'll play some Take on Woods at 7:10. Big League Wednesday, Adam Jones will check in at 7:35. Bret Boone at 8:35. We'll pay off the Incorporator, a televised version of Song Lyric Incorporator with Jesse Agler, and boy, did it come in a big moment on the game yesterday. That was a fun one.
Was that Incorporator history?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. It felt like it.
Maybe. Right before Manny's home run. If you were watching on television and you caught it, fantastic job by Jesse Agler. Reindl Report in our 9 o'clock hour, and then Padres going for the sweep of the Minnesota Twins. They've already clinched their 9th series win out of their last 10. Go for 3 in a row. We'll talk about today's series finale matchup. That's all coming up. Right now, though, your chance to win Padres tickets. 5th caller, 833-288-0973, an early giveaway for Saturday's game against the New York Mets. Padres making the push for the postseason. Grab your tickets at Padres.com/tickets. And again, you can win them right now. 5th caller at 833-288-0973. Paulie will take your call during the break. Good luck. We'll be back with our Padres wrap-up with Sam Levitt on the call on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
These quotes, by the way, spicy. Tyler Wade, man, get ready to learn shortstop, buddy. Looks like that's his gig.
I think we can cross Xander Bogaerts off the list as an everyday shortstop, except in the case of dire emergency, based on the quotes that we just saw this morning.
Yeah, this is pretty good stuff. Kevin A.C., great job here, man, getting this after the game last night. So, Ha-Seong Kim, as you know, on the injured list, and Xander Bogaerts. I tweeted last night, who takes the ninth? Because you pinch hit for Tyler Wade, which was a brilliant, brilliant move. Donovan Solano, another 2-strike hit. We'll get into all the game details in a minute. There are a lot of heroes to discuss from last night. Xander says, we talked about the situations, possibilities of me going there, what the scenarios may have to be. Tonight was one of those. Then he says this. He says, I made a big choice in spring training. I think everyone should respect that. I mean, I did it for the team. I moved, and it would be asking a lot for me to just keep playing back and forth. I do know every game matters. Every game's important. But, man, I mean, early in the season, I wasn't even feeling right playing at second. Every day I had something different in my hips, and I finally feel good. It's easy for people like Ben to say, hey, just move.
I didn't say
flip-flop.
I think Xander's right. I don't think he should move.
But it is a little harder for me playing one position than moving to another one this year, and you start feeling really good there. I get it 1,000%. And somebody made a really good point in the chat that said, Xander seems like the type of guy that really needs consistency. And I said, yeah, you're right. And that's the deal, man, is that 26 guys on the roster, 26 different personalities, 26 different egos, 26 different ways of preparation. Mike Schilt, AJ Preller, they have to manage all of that, right? Donovan, I noticed you didn't put in as much pregame work as you did yesterday. Or, hey, you may be putting too much work in. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like on a day-to-day. So for Xander, after submitting, which is what he did, against what he wanted to do, and saying, all right, fine, I'm going to take it, I'm going to embrace it as best I can, I can certainly respect him saying, don't flip-flop me, man, just leave me there. Even though I think on paper, if we're all managing on MLB The Show, Ha-Seong Kim goes down, you slide him right over. Now, if it was MLB The Show, I'm either calling up DeVries or I'm putting Manny Machado over at short. And we'll see. We'll let the chips fall where they may.
But this is one of those rare situations where kind of everybody's right.
1,000%. Like, there's no one wrong. There's no villain here.
Like,
None whatsoever.
I can see where Schilt's coming from. I can see where Xander's coming from. I can see where the fan base is coming from. I can see where you're coming. You know what I mean? Like, I can see all sides of this and go, no one's really wrong in this situation.
Nope, and please don't take this as an opportunity to crap on Xander Bogaerts. I mean, again, there are different players have different personalities. I think a guy like Crony, if Schilt went and said, hey, I may need you for the next 10 days at short. I mean, we know Jake pretty well. He'd go, all right. Yeah. I remember, I'll never forget, I was just telling you guys, reminding you of this, when we sat down with him in spring training a couple of years ago, and they had added some really big pieces.
Which was 22.
22. And if you were like the 3-hole hitter or the 2-hole hitter, and you're like, I'm not going to be hitting 2 or 3 for a while. And so I asked him, I said, all right, I mean, not to be a jerk, but they're probably going to move you down the lineup. How's that make you feel? And he's like, you think I care? He's like, I'm in a big league lineup, man. As long as I'm out there every day, I don't care where I'm playing. I don't care where I'm hitting. I just want to win.
It was before, I think it was after the 22 season, right before 23, when Soto was on the lineup now. And I think it was off the air. We were talking with him like before or after the interview. And he goes, look at this lineup. I don't care.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
In some ways, though, that's the easy thing to say. It's very easy. You get points when you say, yeah, play me anywhere, hit me anywhere. I'm there for you, Skip, whatever you need. But the hard thing sometimes is to recognize about yourself, what are the conditions that I will thrive the best in? And am I doing more for the team if I am comfortable where I am and producing where I am?
That's right.
And knowing if I can say I'll go to short, but I also know I'm going to be feeling out of sorts.
Again.
It's probably going to affect my offense.
Again.
If I do this, should I just be honest with everybody and say, I'm better off, man, if I just stay in my position where I am.
That's a veteran perspective to have.
I agree. So, well, that's
that.
That's where we are right now, and I'm expecting Tyler Wade this afternoon at shortstop for the time being for the San Diego Padres.
Yes, sir.
All right, I know we're going to be talking about the shortstop position for a while now with Kim on the IL. I'm excited to get back to that game, though.
Last
night was unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Quickly this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Macy's. Back to school at Macy's is all about fresh starts and new looks. Save on must-haves like cargos, mini dresses, jeans, and more that'll hold up from the first day of school to the last. Plus, you'll find all the top quality brands you love. Shop Macy's. Make the first day back the best one yet. Check out Macy's.com. Back to school today. Our Padres Wrap-Up coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Just a few things to watch out for. Some debris reported on the Lemon Avenue on-ramp to southbound 125. Also traveling on westbound 54 before the 5. We have reports of some debris in the 2 left lanes. Collision in the North County, eastbound 78 past San Marcos Boulevard. That's been moved over to the right shoulder. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Swinging a ground ball towards the middle, base hit. Merrill around third base, being waved home by Tim Leeper. He'll score standing. David Peralta, an RBI single. And the Padres have a 1-0 lead in the second.
First pitch swinging, driven to left field and deep. Erickson Profar is looking up, but this one is going to be gone. A 2-run home run for Jeffers on a first pitch cutter. And all of a sudden the Twins have a 2-1 lead. 1-2 pitch swung on fly ball to left field. Profar over towards his left. He'll get it. Runner at third is going to tag up and score. Nobody is covering third base. The ball gets over towards the backstop. Now the runner's going to try to score the throw home. They've got him tied up. Campusano's got the ball. Martin is just slowly making his way towards Manny. Finally, they throw it to Manny, who tags out Martin for the first out of the inning. Kepler scored on the sac fly. Margot is now standing at second base on a sloppy play by the Padres as Jurickson Profar knew that he wasn't going to be able to get the runner out at home. So he threw to third to make sure that the runner at second didn't try to advance. Unfortunately, there was nobody at third base.
Well, nobody covering third. Swinging a high fly ball. Deep left center. This one way back and gone. Manny Machado, a 2-run homer. And just like that, this game is tied at 3. Swinging a line drive into left, that's a base hit. Profar moves to it towards the line. 1 run comes in, 2 runs will score. Throw goes to third. Now a throw to second, the throw to third. They get the out at third. It took Bill Miller a long time to make the call at third base. Out at third. Vasquez up to second. It'll be a 2 RBI base hit for Christian Vasquez in the pinch. And the most important part of all that, the Twins take a 5-3 lead here in the 8th inning. Swinging a drive into left. This one's way back, and it is gone! Jurickson Profar strikes again! A go-ahead 3-run home run in the 8th inning. It's 6-5 San Diego. Pitch to Bogarts. A liner into right center. This is sinking. It's down. A base hit. Rolling all the way to the fence. Cronenworth racing around third. He'll score easily. X-Man. Xander Bogarts. RBI double. And the Padres get insurance. It's now 7-5 in the 8th inning. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Padres win. Robert Suarez, a 1-2-3 9th inning. It was Jurickson Profar, the go-ahead home run in the 8th. Padres got one more. And Robert Suarez continues to put together an excellent 2024 campaign. He shuts the door in the 9th inning, save number 29. Our final score, Padres 7 and the Twins 5.
Grit squad. You know, we talk about it. You know, it's a trait that very special. There was not a doubt in the group. Hard fought back and forth game. A lot of big swings, but man, just some really tough at bats. That a lot of middle relief that we kept it there too. That allowed us to get that chance. That was big as well. Hoeing doing his part, Yuki doing his part, and then the guys did a really nice job of taking some really quality at bats at the end of the game.
Make it 2-0 for Sammy Levitt on the 97.3 The Fan microphone as the Padres win that one 7-5. Sammy with some great calls there.
Great calls, man.
Including his first MLB home run call with the Manny Machado game-tying 2-run shot in the 7th inning.
Now, I know he gave us the team player corporate speak yesterday when we asked him, how bad is it going to be when you have to go back to just doing regular old, oh, no, I'm thankful for the opportunity. Sam, you don't got to lie to me, all right? I know it's going to suck today, but you can rest assured. I know you're listening because he's a huge tier 1. You absolutely crushed it the last 2 nights. You crushed it, and you got to be a part of 2 incredible games.
Permanent relief pitcher. Like if anybody goes down,
Sammy's
the guy.
Would be you'd be crazy not to. He obviously didn't just get through it. The guy thrived and sounded phenomenal. Sounded like a 10-year vet. I'm very happy for Sammy. You know, we have to find a way to keep him in San Diego because somebody's going to hear that and be like, I want that guy on my roster. I don't either. I don't want to think about it either.
And I got to imagine, like, the first game, like, it's got to be like a drug. And he's like,
yeah.
I need more. I need
today
more.
When he comes in here to do the pre and post, he's going to be like, I was sitting yesterday looking out at my mic, my scorecard, and I was ready to go. And now I'm in here in Ben's seat.
Well, he'll be in the
he'll be at the
loft at the Western Metal Building, but still not the seat behind home plate. But they're still at home.
They're still at home. That's sweet angel, man. I'm so happy for him. Crushed it. First home run call, Manny Machado, game-tying home run. Give me a break. You can't draw it up better than that.
So I will be honest. I did not have the most optimism going into yesterday's game. There was a reason for it.
It was that guy's tweet that spun you out.
No, but I knew Bailey Ober was a really good pitcher, and he was.
He was.
That changeup was fooling everybody. Padres couldn't get much going other than the Jackson Merrill double, David Peralta RBI single there in the 2nd inning. Couldn't really get anything going against Bailey Ober. Meanwhile, Martin Perez wasn't bad, but he wasn't quite as sharp as the first 3 starts. And the Twins got to him just a little bit. That the 2-run home run by Ryan Jeffers could have been worse, though. The sacrifice fly that made it 3-1, kind of a hidden key play made by Perez himself when that throw got away, and he ran over toward the Twins' dugout, picked up the ball, and prevented a 4th run from scoring. I mean, the Twins are probably kicking themselves. A couple of big outs on the base paths in that game, but
terrible.
I mean, Ober goes into the 7th, and you're going, this guy might throw a complete game.
65 pitches or something?
And the proverbial, Mud wasn't there, but always asking for the bloop and the blast when the Padres are down 2. And they actually got, I think Ryan Cohen described it, the bloopiest bloop and the blastiest blast.
That's right.
Back to back with Jake Cronenworth and Manny Machado to tie the game. Because Jake, you got a piece of it. Mike Schultz talked about the really good at bat, but I mean, it was a pop out. It just happened to land right between
one of those,
the left fielder and the third baseman and the shortstop.
Your mind.
Yeah,
losing your mind.
You've lost it.
But Ober made the mistake then to Manny Machado. He didn't do anything wrong in letting Jake get on, but he did make a mistake to Manny Machado, one you cannot make right there. He knew it.
This is Manny Machado,
and the game was all of a sudden tied at 3. And you're thinking, okay, this is the Padres. They are going to go on. They've got their bullpen locked in. This is setting up very well now that it's tied in the 7th inning. But the Twins are a feisty team as well, and they came back right against Tanner Scott, who's been almost untouchable. They touched him up, didn't hammer him around the yard, but got some nice swings on decent pitches and put together, the bases loaded.
He got his ground ball to Tyler Wade, whose feet slipped out from under him. On the pivot to make the throw. Again, does Ha-Seong Kim make that play? Probably. I'd say probably, but again, this is Tyler Wade. He's not an everyday shortstop. That's fine, man. The next play, Manny really mistimed his jump and you very rarely see him that demonstrative about something he should have done. Usually it's like, if I could have gotten it, I would have.
It was a changeup.
It
looked like a liner, but it
like,
wasn't hit that hard. And it was like,
you saw him
it was
scream.
just coming down a little bit, and it just went over his glove.
You saw him scream into the San Diego night that he knew he should have had that one. So Tanner Scott right there, kind of a feeble grounder, and then that one that Manny probably should have had. Well, and then, you give up the hit to Christian Vasquez, which is inexcusable. But Tanner Scott's been amazing. And what do these guys do for him? They go right back out there and they pick him up. Did you see?
Well, first of all, the Profar throw, on the Vasquez
was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Two-run single. Rarely is another team's two-run single one of your best plays of the game.
Correct.
But one of the best throws you're going to see in baseball all season. On the run,
in the corner,
toward the line, right on the money to get the runner at third. Yeah.
When I saw it hit the ground, I go, there's no way he gets this on one hop. No way. Like, the ball was hit too well, in too good of a position. He makes that part of it. Just getting that ball on one hop instead of letting it, kind of playing it back, giving up on it a little bit, being able to get behind it and make a better throw. Dude, he picked it, and then the jump throw to third on it was a dime. Manny just turned and boop. And then Manny, the presence of mind to go to second, almost had Vasquez at second. It was spectacular, and in the moment you think, "Oh, that could be a potentially pretty big out in the later innings." And boy, was it ever brilliant night for Jerks and Profar. But did you see after they did the comeback, Tanner Scott, the first guy he walked up to, Jerks and Profar, after Profar hit that home run, to give him a big old hug to say thank you for getting me off the hook.
We got calls. We got more coming up next on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, it's Craig from Annie and Elston. Join us as we talk Padres baseball from an analytical perspective each and every day.
Listen to Annie and Elston weekdays from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Here's Brooke Burke for Skechers' new Workout Walker footwear.
Do you know the world's #1 most popular form of exercise? It's walking, and one company has you covered. Skechers, the comfort technology company, with their newest performance walking sneaker, Skechers Workout Walker. Because the Skechers Workout Walker is fully loaded to get the most out of your walk, including a carbon-infused plate in the sole to add more spring to your step. Find Skechers Workout Walker for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Come to Team Kia of El Cajon during the sizzling summer sell-off and beat the heat with huge savings on every new Kia in stock.
You should be driving a Kia from El Cajon Kia. Team Kia of El Cajon.
From Team Kia of El Cajon, new Kia Soul LX, just $99.95 with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Or get 2 for $222. That's right, a new Kia Soul LX, just $111 per month lease. Or get 2 for $222. If you're a first-time buyer, had credit problems, or you're currently in Chapter 7 bankruptcy, we want to approve you. Have a trade? Get up to 120% more than Kelley Blue Book fair market value. Get to Team Kia of El Cajon because we finance your future, not your past. If we can get you 2 Kias for $222, imagine what you'll save on everything else at Team Kia of ElCajon.com. On approved credit, not all will qualify. Tax, title, license, and $150 title and registration processing fee. $39.95 due at signing. 24-month, 10,000 miles through KMF. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Offers not in combination. 2 to choose EV6. Expires 8/31/24.
Hi, I'm Jason Hansen, a former CIA officer. In these uncertain times, with rising geopolitical tensions and skyrocketing inflation, protecting your financial future is crucial. That's why I trust Advantage Gold for all my precious metal investments. They're the only company I buy from, period. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 for a 100% free gold guide. See exactly how gold can safeguard your wealth. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it. Between imagining
Swing and a drive into left. This one's way back, and it is gone! Jurickson Profar strikes again. A go-ahead 3-run home run in the 8th inning. It's 6-5 San Diego.
Got to admit, watching on TV, wasn't thinking home run. I was hoping just that it wasn't caught.
Paulie
on
said
a nice play.
Paulie said he knew it was gone off the bat, and I went, I could see it in my mind's eye, the left fielder catching it against the wall because it was such a low liner.
I knew you had to reach for it, but just that short porch, I'm like, oh, that's got it.
Bro, it was the ass out swing, coming around it a little bit. I'm like, oh, he didn't get it.
It was below the strike zone.
Yeah, dude.
It was an interesting play. This hour in baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits, still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. We've got a couple other calls. We got Jesse's call on television of the Jurickson Profar Big Blast, his 20th of the season.
Profar in the air to left. Margot will run out of room, and it's gone! A home run!
Little surprise.
And the Padres are back in front 6-5.
Like me, a little surprised that it got out and over the fence, just on that trajectory with that kind of swing. And then Paulie also found the Twins radio call and the disappointment, obviously, of giving up a lead for the second time in 2 innings.
They've out-hit the Padres by a ton, and this ball is drilled deep into the left field corner. Long run back, and it's into the seats. Home run for Jurickson Profar, and it's 6-5 Padres. Stephen Oakert gave up back-to-back singles, and then Profar laces a line drive homer into the second row of seats. Not quite slam Diego, but a 3-run homer, and the Padres on top.
Not quite slam Diego.
What a dagger, man.
Definitely one of the Twins feel like they let get away.
Oh,
they had
big time.
Had a good pitcher on the mound. They were out hitting the Padres. They had come up with big hits themselves a couple of times in the game. They're kicking themselves over that one last night. But it's just what the Padres have done all season long, coming back. 20th home run from Machado, 20th home run from Profar. Actually, the 20th home run from Jeffers, too. All 3 home runs, kind of weirdly, the 20th of the season for all 3 players. But interesting moment before that Profar home run, because on the first pitch of that at-bat, of course, Woods, what did Jurickson do?
Squared the bunt.
Squared around a bunt.
I almost vomited.
I assume you were screaming in the dugout or screaming in your TV at, like, Jurickson Profar. Don't do that. You know who else was also not happy about Jurickson squaring around a bunt? Martin Perez. He said the whole dugout, or actually Tanner Scott whole dugout was like, what? The guy's hitting the way he is. He's pretty good. They wanted to see him swing away. Now, Jurickson had some interesting comments in the third person. Goes, I'm Profar. Profar plays really good baseball. So if I bunt it, I will be safe 100%. And it's going to be bases loaded, no outs for Jake Cronenworth.
I really have to start talking in the third person. I need to bring that into the vernacular. I really do.
Woods needs to start talking.
Yeah, Woodsy really needs to have
Paul
a good
thinks
show.
that Woods should start talking in the third
So
person.
good.
But he never really explained why he changed his mind. Maybe just getting, in a favorable count and decided to swing instead of bunt. But
I don't
worked
know
out well.
I don't know that he ever actually squared to give up. Give himself up. He just kind of did the whoop.
He's thinking about it.
You get a good
obviously.
look. You get a good look. Maybe you draw the defense in. There's a million different ways to do it. But yeah, I'll admit when he strode to the plate, it's the first thing I thought of is he's going to bunt. He is going to bunt right now, and I'm really, really, really glad that he didn't. What a moment last night.
Well, but that even if he was correct and he bunted and it was a base hit and he loaded the bases. You're still given a lefty-lefty matchup,
Yeah.
Cronenworth against Okert, which is not quite as favorable as the righty-lefty. That's why you want Jurickson, who's been your most clutch player. In fact, baseball's most clutch player in late and close, high-leverage situations this year, swinging away in a situation like that. Instincts or no instincts, he ended up doing the right thing, and that was trying to drive the ball somewhere, and he drove it out of the yard for the go-ahead 3-run home run. Big insurance run there by Xander Bogaerts as well. They didn't give up just because they had a 1-run lead. Jake got on. Xander drove him in with a double, and then Robert Suarez, after giving up a run in the first game of the series, actually gave up a couple of hard-hit balls, but both right at Jackson Merrill, and then struck out the last batter for his 29th save. And with that, Padres moved to a season-high 17 games above 500. First time they've been at this point since, I think, the end of the 2022 season. And they're actually better right now than they were at this point in 2022 when they ended up going to the National League Championship Series. Remaining 3 games behind the LA Dodgers in the NL West, 1 game ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks for the first wild card spot in the National League, but certainly another day to circle on the 2024 calendar for the San Diego Padres as another terrific win.
And Jurickson Profar continues to be, along with Jackson Merrill, the heartbeat of the San Diego Padres. And for whatever reason, everything he is doing these days is really getting under the skin of the opposing team, which we've seen it work in our favor so much this year. I mean, the Nationals got so upset about Jurickson Profar, Benny, that they basically, it took them completely out of their game. And you had a little bit of it last night. So Jurickson Profar's back in the dugout, and you see his teammates go, Pro, and he looks up and runs to the top, then throws his hands out like, what? What now? And it's Christian Vasquez chirping at him. And maybe it was the gritty that he hit at home plate, but Christian Vasquez plays in enough baseball games to know this isn't uncommon. He's at home. He just hit a 3-run homer. Pitch better. Get him out. Seriously, we're still doing this. And how many times do you have to touch the hot pan on the stove before you realize this isn't going to do anything to me but burn me? It's going to burn me every single time.
Every team has to make the mistake at least once.
Right.
I mean,
I pray.
They don't learn the lesson from the Washington Nationals. It's not. I doubt there's a pregame memo like, hey, by the way, if Jurickson does something big, you probably shouldn't say anything, even though he's going to probably celebrate big time. You don't have that pregame meeting as a manager if you're Rocco Baldelli talking about what happens when Jurickson Profar has his big moment.
But you absolutely know the guys in the league that are going to do things like that, and he's one of them. And you can't let it take you out of your game. And you saw Xander, when he came up and he got that knock, he turned around and said something to Vasquez. Now, they're longtime friends. They played together in Boston. They know each other very well. That was probably more friendly-ish banter. But, again, keep going to the stove, man. I'm begging you. Who do we play next? We play the Mets?
Mets.
Please get upset. Please take exception.
Brian Kenny's in for a rough weekend.
I mean, if that happens, this guy is, again, we said it over and over, You love him if he's on your team. You absolutely love him if he's on your team. If you're playing against him, yeah, he's the guy that can get in your dome.
Need a contestant for Take on Woods if you want to call in right now. 833-288-0973. Playing about 2 minutes here. 833-288-0973. Question in the chat, I think, is a legitimate one. Is Profar getting hit by a pitch today? As he has been so many times now here in the second half of the season. Accidentally or otherwise, I can certainly see it happening, and I can see exception being taken, and maybe even dugouts clearing again, like it happened against the Washington Nationals.
But for what?
Because Major League Baseball players are very sensitive, oversensitive about things like a slow trot around the bases, even at home, and what is viewed as excessive celebration. You know that gets under their skin. And they're stewing about it, and they're having the same discussions that the Washington Nationals were, like, hey, we can't let them show us up like that, even though it's their house. We got to do something to show that we're men, and we're not gonna take that lying down.
Do it.
And they're probably talking to Simeon Woods Richardson, and like, hey, make sure Jurickson Profar knows that we saw what
moves his feet,
moves his feet around a little bit, and you do that, and all of a sudden he gets hit. And we have a whole nother situation, just like we did against the Washington Nationals. Wouldn't be shocked if that happened today.
Yeah, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But I mean, Jurickson gets hit every game, so that's a really good excuse for the Twins. It's like, oh no, I mean, he's a magnet these days. It slipped with slider at his knee again, and but yeah, man, it's just not an advisable strategy. But as a Padre fan, I love it. I don't want Jurickson to get hit every day. I don't want him to, he looks like he's gotten, just battered below the waist. And so if you want to do that today, go ahead. I mean, it has not worked out.
It's interesting because until yesterday, Jurickson's numbers the last couple of weeks had slipped. I mean, not bad, but I think he was saying like 230 over the last couple of weeks. And, I think the league was going, maybe our strategy of pitching him inside and backing him off has been a little more effective. So he's just going to see more of it as the season goes on. Now, a big home run like yesterday may change things as well, and teams might have to adjust again to Jurickson Profar. But, man, that guy has come up with so many big moments this season. Him and Jackson Merrill, incredible. The two guys, the big question marks going into spring training, center field and left field. Who are going to man those spots for the Padres? And here we are in August, and they've literally been the two clutchest, strongest spots on the field maybe for the Padres in 2024.
I was thinking about it last night after Profar had the throw, the home run, and I go, God, this guy needs to be like in serious MVP talks. And then I go, well, how can you be the MVP when it's questionable if you're even the MVP on your own team?
Right.
Because I think Jackson Merrill is absolutely in that conversation.
Michael King called him the
Padres
team MVP after Monday's game. So we will see.
Embarrassment of riches.
Good one last night. We'll talk about it with Adam Jones coming up at the bottom of the hour. Right now, though, it is time for our daily game of musical trivia. Let's take on Woods. All right, let's go. Let's go with Roger. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. All right, see if we can get you qualified this month for our grand prize. First Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. And you are, of course, playing for the 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and 2 tickets to Carrie Underwood, her residency at Resorts World Theater, now underway. And tickets are on sale at AXS.com and RWLasVegas.com. Categories. Will anyone ever take Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Those, again, are bands that made it big, including here in the United States, but with either German origins or themes. We've got Huey Lewis and the News, and we've got Sister Acts. Those are bands or artists with sister in their name. So, Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Huey Lewis and the News, or Sister Act. Roger?
All right. Well, let's give Woodsy the category, and I'm going to pick Huey Lewis and the News.
Huey Lewis and the News. All right. No surprise here. 5 questions about Huey Lewis and the News, including our 2-second song. So you really only need to give me the song title because the artist will be Huey Lewis in the News. I'll just give you that right now. If you can beat Woods or tie him, we'll put you into the drawing for the grand prize. You know how it works. Pass if you don't know one. 60 seconds total to get as many as the 5 as possible.
Give me 1 second.
Paulie's going to call up. He's had some different kind of funky issues this morning, but we'll let him call up the 2-second song before we get going. Roger, how have you been?
I have been great. I'm actually speaking to you from Nashville, Tennessee right now.
Nice. All right. A music city for our music game. All right. Paulie is ready. We got 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. The category, Huey Lewis and the News. Roger, good luck. Let's take on Woods.
That's Heart and Soul.
That is. Which 1985 single earned Huey Lewis an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song?
The Power of Love.
Correct. The most successful album for Huey Lewis and the News has what very Ben-friendly name?
Sports.
Correct. According to Huey Lewis, which 1984 hit is actually a love song and doesn't really have anything to do with illegal narcotics.
I Want a New Drug.
Absolutely. Which 1987 #1 hit for Huey Lewis has a biblical reference in the title and shares a name with a 1990 movie starring Tim Robbins?
Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, that was so easy. So easy for Roger. Congratulations, Roger. You are into the drawing for Las Vegas with a perfect 5 for 5. The only question is, can Woods match, given the category and given the same 5 questions and the same 60 seconds? So we'll summon Woods back to the studio. You know he can't hear because we can barely flag him down when it is time. All right, Roger wants you to have the category.
Oh, wow.
One of our better players. And this is ironic because I already had this one in the hopper when we discussed this band last week. But the category is Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, okay.
So 2-second song is first. You don't really need the band, just the song title. You right? Ready?
Yep.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Roger.
Heart and Soul.
Correct. Which 1985 single earned Huey Lewis an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song?
1985?
Yep.
Power of Love.
Correct. The most successful album for Huey Lewis and the News has what very Ben-friendly name?
Sports.
Correct. According to Huey Lewis, which 1984 hit is actually a love song, doesn't really have anything to do with illegal narcotics.
I Want a New Drug.
Correct. Which 1987 #1 hit for Huey Lewis has a biblical reference in the title and shares a name with a 1990 movie starring Tim Robbins. Save the toughest one for last. You need this one.
You kind of need
I
this
think
one.
Roger is in a Huey Lewis cover band. I'm pretty sure. There's somebody in our audience that is. I think I'm toast. Tim Robbins. The Hudsucker Proxy.
Yeah, that would be a good guess. That is not it. It is Jacob's Ladder.
Oh.
And that means Roger, by a 5-4 score, has taken down Woods.
It's been a while.
In Huey Lewis and the
Wait, hang on.
News
Roger,
today.
are you the one that's in a Huey Lewis band?
That is correct.
I mean,
that was stacked in Roger's favor.
There you go.
What's your favorite Huey Lewis song, Roger?
My favorite to sing is Heart and Soul,
Oh,
actually.
so good.
And Working for a Living is probably one of my favorite songs.
That's a good one,
That's
too.
a damn good one.
I'm a big fan of Huey Lewis and the News myself.
As am I.
Except for
Brother, we're playing El Cajon in September 6th.
Nice.
El
I
Cajon,
would love to
September
see that.
6th. The Huey. What's
Except,
the name?
of course, for the Heart of Rock and Roll, which I love, but Woods doesn't.
You guys have to do that song, don't you?
Oh, that's the name of the band.
Heart of Rock and Roll. Good name for a band.
Yeah, it was a good call.
I have a question. When you are playing somewhere, do you incorporate the name of the city you're playing in? Like, will you shout out El Cajon, like instead of Cleveland or something?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I figured, all right,
Every
yeah,
single
every time.
time.
Murrieta!
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny when you're in some place like Anchorage because the Heart of Rock and Roll is not in Anchorage.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It is not. Thank you, brother. Well played. Well played.
All right, Paulie will get Roger's information during the break, and that was his. Yeah, you were in the biggest disadvantages we've ever had in that game before.
That was a tough one.
No doubt about it. All right, Don't Do This is coming up next. Let's see. I've got. I saw something that I loved actually yesterday. Did anyone see how the A's determined the draft order for their fantasy football league yesterday?
I did not.
It was pretty cool. A little visual, but pretty cool. We'll get to that and more coming up next in Don't Do This. Next on 97.3 The Fan. Get back to the Padres talk in just a second. Adam Jones will be with us here at the bottom of the hour. First, though, don't do this. And it feels like it's been a while since we've had a good old-fashioned steroid scandal in sports.
It has been a minute.
And actually, we have a guy who got off scot-free yesterday. I don't know if you saw this story. I heard Chris talking about it on Gwynn and Chris. So the number one tennis player in the world, which is actually Jannik Sinner, tested positive twice for steroids earlier this year. But they just determined, right ahead of the U.S. Open, that he is not going to be suspended. He successfully argued that the banned substance entered his system unintentionally through a massage from his physiotherapist, which I think everyone can rightfully be very skeptical. Like, can you just say that, oh, yeah, my massage therapist used something they should not have used, and I didn't have any control over it, and apparently it was a spray or some sort of cream that contained...
What in the world?
And here's the interesting part of it. Clostebol, which, of course, was what Fernando Tatis Jr. tested positive for and was suspended 80 games. And what did he argue?
Ringworm.
That it was a cream that he used to treat a skin condition, a ringworm condition.
So this person got off scot-free.
And so this guy, Jannik Sinner, the number one tennis player in the world, argued essentially that someone put a skin cream on him that that was not authorized, did not know contained a clostebol agent, and they said, okay, fine, you're good to go.
Wow.
We're not going to suspend you. Isn't
That's amazing.
That interesting? And I don't know the differences between tennis's, rules when it comes to that. Baseball has pretty much a zero tolerance. Doesn't matter how it got in your system. If they test you and you're positive, it's a positive. But it just goes to show you there's always some gray area. Like what would happen if like a baseball player, like someone slipped them something without their knowledge? Like they went to a restaurant and someone just like
shot
sprinkled
a squirt of testosterone,
steroids in their food, and they end up getting positive. I mean, technically there's no leeway, so that would lead to a suspension, and probably you'd never get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And it would be through no fault of your own. Now, can you prove any of that? I don't know. How does that work? It's an interesting story, though, and one that has gone in the favor of tennis player Jannik Sinner.
That's wild, man. That's why you rarely see these guys get off, so to speak. So, well, listen, everyone's talking about it in the chat. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter. Big brawl last night at Petco Park, which you hate to see.
Never a great look.
Never a great look. But there was a guy in a lower level. He's dressed in all black. I believe he has an Ethica shirt on. Now, that is Manny Machado's brand. That's one of the brands that he reps.
So we know who you were cheering for in the fight.
Yeah. Also, the guy that wasn't dropping N-bomb after N-bomb after N-bomb after N-bomb in the middle of this fight. But there was a guy in what somebody described as short white Daisy Dukes and what do we call those now?
Oh, a tank top undershirt.
A tank top undershirt.
Not what it used to be called.
White.
Yes.
And that's it. Ribbed for her pleasure, potentially. And they got into it pretty good. And the guy in the Daisy Dukes and the broccoli hair was really goading this on. Come on, let's go. And the guy that guy in the Daisy Dukes had the upper hand. He was in the higher row. So he can swing down, use all his momentum. He got his ass kicked last night by the guy in all black. And I mean, this guy took the wood to him. Bloodied his face. He just then is still going, swinging, running his mouth. It was a gnarly one last night. It went on for a while, too. Like, this was... Usually, if there's some pushing and shoving,
everyone's
go
just
ahead,
standing
hit me in
there.
the face.
Yeah, he's doing
so he does.
Hit me. And finally, this guy throws. I think it's a left.
It's a left. Yeah.
And and then you see him, and he still goes back for more.
He gets him with a left, and then a right, and then like two more lefts.
It was a great combo. The guy in the black. I mean, he took it to him yesterday.
Got a little butt crack from the guy in the black.
Yeah, he got a little butt crack.
Yeah, on camera there.
Somebody said when I posted on Twitter, they said, I knew it was over when he hiked them Daisy Dukes up. I will say this, just as an aside. I went on vacation recently, and I needed to buy some new swim trunks and things like that. You can't find shorts that go to your knee anymore. They don't exist. They don't make them. So every pair of shorts that I have now looks like I'm wearing man panties. And so I wear them, and I don't have big, thick, nice legs. They're white, they're creamy, and I put those things on, and I'm like shy walking down to the beach in Hawaii. Like, get me in the water, because every short now comes right below your junk. I mean, truly, like, you can't find long shorts. They don't make them.
What happened to the good old Michigan basketball days?
100%. Baggy as all get out. Like, I can't tell if that guy's fat or not. I don't think so. Look at his shirt. I mean, his shorts are good.
I bought a black pair of Nike basketball shorts like a year ago from Dick's Sporting Goods, and they actually go like right to the knees or maybe even just below the knees. And I'm like, I might have gotten the last pair.
I'm keeping these
forever.
forever.
I might have gotten the last pair.
Actually, the Smithsonian called. They want those. They want you to send them to the Smithsonian.
You know what? That's fair.
Every pair of shorts now is just these nut huggers. And I'm like, this doesn't look good on me,
like
man.
Like the OPs my mom used to put me in elementary school.
Yes, dude. I had the sickest pair of corduroy OPs that I wore.
Corduroy OPs.
Mine were blue. I wore them.
Yeah, my light blue. I had that. I think I had that exact same pair.
Just listening to Van Halen, 1984,
to wear to school.
Wearing
Absolutely.
my OPs. Oh, I loved it.
All right, finally, do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
I know there's a lot that take their fantasy football very seriously, including the draft. In fact, last week I was playing it at the GOAT. They were doing a draft where you drafted the order of where you were going to draft. So, like, he had 24 hours to decide. Do you want the first pick? Do you want the wraparound 10th pick? Do you want to go in the middle of the first round when it comes back? They actually had a draft to draft where you were going to draft. So that, to me, was a little silly. A lot of people just do it randomly by computer.
Nightmare.
Sometimes it's based on the order of finish of last season if you've got everyone back. But the Oakland A's had a pretty fun way. There's a lot of fantasy football that goes on this time of year in baseball clubhouses, especially on teams that are out of it and just trying to get to the end of the season. So what the Oakland A's did, and there was some video going around on social media, they put a target, like a bullseye, out in the outfield. And then all the fantasy football guys went up to the upper deck of the Coliseum, put their name on a baseball, and tried to throw it as close to the target as possible to determine the draft order for their fantasy football draft. It's clever.
It's clever, but is it smart?
Yeah, maybe not. Showing everybody how much you are not caring about baseball and are caring about fantasy football?
No, not even that. Because everybody. But it's like, do you really want guys slinging one as far and...
Well, wasn't that... I mean, really, they were...
Oh, was it like push?
Yeah, it was kind of more of a push.
Oh,
it was like yeah, because they were... Yeah, it was kind of like a dart.
I thought you meant they had to wind up.
No, it wasn't like
shove.
so far. It was just like... It was just they were coming from so high.
Okay.
And they kind of tossed it out into the outfield, and they kind of bounced around near the target.
That's really good.
Like they were playing, jarts, like lawn darts, essentially,
I like
to
that.
determine their fantasy football draft
when you're on the Oakland A's, you need to find ways to entertain yourself.
Not exactly playing meaningful baseball games at this point in the season. And that's don't. And do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we'll catch you up with Adam Jones on a Big League Wednesday, figure out where in the world is Adam Jones, and then talk some Padres baseball and pennant races with AJ. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, Big League Wednesday. We got Adam Jones coming up first this hour on 97.3 The Fan. It's brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. You could pot him down for now, Paulie, if you wanted to.
He was on
with
hold.
Contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you can get the staff you need. Manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. Traffic, and then the 5-time All-Star Adam Jones next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few things to mention here. Crash on eastbound 905 right before the 805. Tow truck is rolling up to help out with this one. It's partially blocking that right lane. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a 2-vehicle accident northbound 5 before 28th Street. It's over the right shoulder. And in the North County, crash has cleared on eastbound 78 near San Marcos Boulevard, but we are still seeing a lot of residual slowing there. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3.
Well, Adam Jones, you missed a good golf match last Tuesday. Woodsy came through on 17. I delivered a birdie on 18.
That's
and
true.
We ended up with a big win at Encinitas Ranch while you were out on your business opportunity golfing day. And now I understand you're back on the golf course again?
Oh, man, I stay on the golf course. You know, as long as my wife says, hey, go do it, I'll do it.
What a
I'm
lot.
out here playing with a good group now. It's crazy because on my podcast, the Adam Jones podcast, I said, look, I'm tweet out some names, just tweet out, like, you want to golf with me? One of the guys hit me back, and I'm golfing with him right now. He's a venture capitalist, 35-year-old sharp dude who likes to make money. So I ain't planning for money today, but next time I will.
Good contact to have, though.
It's a great contact.
Do you want to invest in a radio show?
Yeah, see if he wants to invest in a radio show. I was just going to ask him about that. Where are you?
I'm in Baltimore right now.
Okay.
My guy, Nick Markakis, is going into the Orioles
right.
Hall of Fame on Saturday. So my family went back to Spain. I stayed here because, you know, I gotta support my guy. I talked to him yesterday. He's going to be on my podcast tomorrow. And, you know, I got to support him. He needs to be recognized. I know if you know him, he doesn't like any of this stuff. I just told him, put on a smile for a couple hours, just for a couple hours, man, and then go back to being normal. So
being normal.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, just drink it in a little bit, man. That's a really cool moment. I loved watching that dude play. He was a gamer in every sense of the word. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I'm excited to hear that podcast as well, AJ. I wanted to ask you about one of our players that we have here in Jurickson Profar, and man. Number one, what a year, what a deal you got him for. Yep. The guy loves playing in San Diego, but he is really becoming, to the other team, quite the irritant. Christian Vasquez barking at him last night. I mean, he really gets under guys' skin.
Keibert Ruiz earlier this year.
Will Smith. All these, you know, mediocre catchers are going after Jurickson Profar, and it's not working out well for these dudes at all.
I mean, I love what Profar is doing. Obviously, you know, he signed a 1-year, $1 million deal, so he's basically playing for free in San Diego this year. Might be paying to play this year. It's so expensive, but what he's doing right now is special. And he's lining himself up to get that, you know, 3-4 year deal that he's been journeying for his whole career. And, you know, he can play multiple positions. I know he's playing a lot left field right now, but, you know, his versatility has always been one of his strongest suits. And I like it. You need that kind of the FU kind of guy. Yep. And he's that guy. You know, Tommy Pham is one of those guys that you want him on your team because he'll go to battle for you. You don't want to be on the opposite team, but you want to be a real team. Hey, if he's annoying guys and if the results is W's, oh well. Hey, look, we can all get off the bench and we can fight if we need to. But at the end of the day, look, we're trying to get some W's. And the style of play, the energy he's bringing, you see, they're the best record since the break. So keep it up.
Padres put Ha-Seong Kim on the injured list yesterday, and with this team that has all these shortstops on the roster, they now have a bit of a shortstop problem. Xander Bogaerts played there in the 9th yesterday, but said after the game that basically, you know, he feels more comfortable just staying at second base. They already moved him once, doesn't really want to move back. How big of a deal have you found for, you know, Major League Baseball players that changing positions in the middle of a season would be?
Well, he's a vet, so therefore he's earned the regards to. First off, he moved. He didn't have to do that, so he earned the regards to, like, hey, I'm comfortable here right now. Like, I've worked my ass off to get comfortable here. Like, let me just stay here. You want to bring Jackson Merrill back in? No. He's back in the shortstop.
No chance.
Manny, I know Manny has played there sparingly when needed, but I know he doesn't want to do it. But again, that's it's a good problem. Hey, Cronenworth, you're the most athletic person on the actual field, so why don't you get your ass to shortstop and do? I mean, just it's a good problem to have. I mean, again, Cronenworth is the most athletic person. So to put him at shortstop, a position that he is natural to. Again, I don't know how much he's worked at it, but he might be the guy for the next few weeks. It could be by committee, but it's a good problem to have, man. You got surplus. That's why you got all these guys. You always draft shortstops.
They do. It was weird, though, because it's like I just get the sense that they're going to be running Tyler Wade out there for the next 10 games.
Wade.
And, yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, if the other guys in the lineup do their
540 OPS.
I know. But listen.
But he plays good defense. If he's able to get on base.
Yeah, if he can get on base.
I mean, sometimes his 0 for 3 can look a little bit better because he doesn't necessarily always have to be a 3 for 3 game for him. His speed allows him to be dynamic, even though a result might not be a base hit.
Sure. No, it's a very fair point you make. The back of the bullpen is pretty nasty. Not pretty nasty. They're very nasty. They're very, very nasty. The Dodgers got a lot of players back, and they're contributing right away. Max Muncy homered in a couple straight nines. They won again last night. But I do feel like the division is certainly in play. For me, I don't know what the weakness of the Dodgers is other than maybe starting pitching. And even then, they still find a way to win more games than they lose, AJ. If you're a part of the Padres organization right now, you're in the clubhouse every day. Are you gunning for L.A.? Or are you just trying to get through one game at a time? You're in a good spot for the wild card. Or is that division in your sights?
I mean, it's when you'd be a fool not to be looking up at top now. I mean, you always, once the second half of the season starts, the standings are thrown in your face. So you'd be a fool not to look at them. But I think what the Padres are doing is great. They're beating the teams they should beat. They're winning the games they should win. They're winning the close games, the one-run games, which they haven't been good in the previous years. So they're doing all the little things. Just worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about the Dodgers, because if you worry about the Dodgers, you're going to find yourself 7 back and then 12 back. So don't worry about the Dodgers. Worry about yourself. Get tonight's win and go home, and then get tomorrow's win. That's the only thing that they can do, and they've been doing a great job of that the second half. And again, those additions, with those veterans, I think it's going to pay off with Cease. And then we got some guys coming back, too. Don't think Darvish ain't coming back soon. Hopefully he comes back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be big. And you got Tatis. That's like getting a trade. He's been out for 2 months. So, there's a lot of good things that can happen, because you got 5 weeks left. This is what you want.
Well, I know you must have had at least 1 or 2 shots while we've been trying to talk to you here. Everyone in the chat is debating. Are you driving in the car? Are you throwing the phone on the ground while you're making shots and talking to us? What's going on? How's the round?
No, it's good. We're on a par 5, and I'm just they're allowing me to talk, and they're swinging, they're waiting.
You get back to your round. We'll talk to you. We get to talk to you every week, so we'll let you get back to your venture capitalist and
make some putts.
Have fun with the Nick Markakis induction and this week, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday, AJ.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Adam Jones on the golf course. I mean,
Paulie's like, I'll give you the day off. He's like, no.
He's like, occupational hazard.
Amazing.
When he's got some, he's got some free time on his hands, and he's got his podcast, and he's nice enough to come on with us each week. But we cannot interrupt his round of golf for anything. We try, but he's definitely he wants to make sure he gets all his shots in. So
I did that a lot during the pandemic when I started playing golf like a lunatic every day. We had all these Zoom meetings and all this stuff, so I would just put the phone on the ground and hit my shot and get back to the Zoom meeting.
It's interesting because Adam said what I expected him to say, that veteran players are afforded a different level of respect as to their wishes and desires, and and they know what is best for them in their own personal success, and that makes the team successful. Yet it's logical that a veteran would be more equipped to switch positions than a guy who's younger in his career and is just trying to figure it out. Yet it's the younger guys who always seem to be asked to do more of those things.
Especially these days, yeah.
It's weird because
they don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know, but a veteran would go, I do know this. I had to do it when I was younger, and I can definitely do it now, but you definitely get more guys like Xander Bogaerts. And he said, Manny, he's not going to want to move from third to short either. I get that as well. I totally understand that. And it's that's what the real job of the manager, of Mike Schilt, of managing people, 26 people. And he talks about that a lot when he comes on with us, is that it's not just putting together lineups and, righty-lefty matchups and looking at the numbers, but it's also managing people. Like if you're a manager at a workplace out there and you've got a staff, you've got to set the schedules and make sure every shift is covered and, everyone gets their training and, the operations are, carried out as they're supposed to. But you're also managing people, personalities, and trying to make sure everyone fits together in the right sort of ways. And that's what Mike Schilt does have to do for, 26 guys at a time on a major league team.
Yeah, you got to keep it fair, as our boss Adam Klug likes to say. Got to keep it fair.
Whatever his idea of fair may be.
Version.
Woods' idea of fair never seems to match with what Adam's idea of fair is.
No, it's not even my idea. It's just logistics. It's like it's actual numbers. But.
I was just looking up. Do you guys remember this was a little throwback Wednesday, way back Wednesday? Speaking of Adam Jones on the golf course, we had Randy Jones. Remember when he called in? He was like listening to the show. He randomly called in.
Yes.
And he was on the golf course. And I was like, I feel like we saved something from that.
I don't remember this at all.
I remember we were talking about the Padres or whatever, the 60-game season, and he's like, hang on, I got to putt. And we're like, just do it on the air. And he put his phone on speakerphone.
Would you shut up? I'm trying to putt.
Do you have more? Or is that
that's
it?
all I have.
That's all you
That's
have?
all we have saved.
Shut up. I'm trying to putt.
Would you shut up? I'm trying to putt.
I love that man, dude. Love him.
Probably in the big scheme of things, less interviews with people
golfing.
They're golfing is probably better for the show.
But
every once in a while, whatever. We'll roll with the punches.
Yeah,
so.
it happens. It happens from time to time. But no, AJ's always welcome golfing on a yacht, wherever he may be for the day.
Yeah, and he admitted, the standings are in your face in
Sure.
the second half of the season. You can't avoid it, so you might as well embrace it. Padres are certainly keeping an eye on what the Diamondbacks and Dodgers are doing.
You know what I can't do anymore, though? Is that as soon as that game ended last night, I went right over and put on the Dodger game. Like, I can't do that on a work night. That's probably what kept me up way too late. I need to just be able to shut it off. But I was over there scoreboard watching, too.
I was texting with my son, and he goes, well, I guess it's good. I guess if everyone else wins, it feels good to win and keep pace because the Dodgers and Diamondbacks both won. Padres kept pace. But it also, the same thing, when they both lose, you feel like it's a missed opportunity if you don't win.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you lose and they win, you've dropped a game in the standings.
It's a nightmare.
It doesn't really matter what the other teams do. Every day, it's better to win than it is
Correct.
to lose.
Yes.
And it's better for them to lose than it is for them to win. But it's not like, they won, so we have to win today, because you feel the same
But
way. When they lose,
it feels
you
kind
have
of
to.
like
When they lose, you have
that.
to win today too.
That's true.
Then you're giving up that chance to gain ground in the race.
It's that meme of that girl that does the two sides where she smiles and then she goes, ooh. You know what I mean? You know that one? Yeah. And it's like, well, we lost. Well, but so did the Diamondbacks and Dodgers. So it's an excruciating time of year. But yeah, I can't do that. I cannot go right to MLB TV and start watching the Dodgers Mariners in the 6th last night if I want to expect to get to bed and come in and talk about the games. But that was actually a decent game until it wasn't. Jason Hayward hit a 3-run bomb. And, Andres Munoz just serving it up real good. We won that trade. We didn't.
It would have been nice that all the times that he's, stuck it back to us and other teams that they could also do it to the Dodgers.
Correct.
So.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the Stars. I think Mookie Betts had an RBI, but it's been the bottom of the order. Jason Hayward's actually lost his spot in the lineup most days, and he's the guy who came through with the 3-run home run for the Dodgers last night in the 8th inning.
Yep.
After they were down 3-0, it was looking like, okay, maybe this is a chance for the Padres to pull within 2 of the Dodgers, and then didn't get that done. Now, they did, I don't know that you care at this point, they did pick up a game on the Phillies, who lost to the Braves. Padres are 3 games behind the Dodgers, 2 behind the Phillies and the Brewers. That's top seed in the National League right now.
Bananas.
But catching the Dodgers is not going to be an easy task, especially the way that they've been now playing. They've kind of turned it around this last week and a half and started winning games, winning series. Tough to make up ground. Last 10 games, both teams are 7-3. 7-3 is great. 700 baseball is great.
Fantastic.
The Padres gained a grand total of 0 games in the last 10.
But we didn't lose
on the
any.
Dodgers. Didn't lose any, but when you're behind, not losing is not good enough.
It's not
the
winning.
Dodgers are happy to match the Padres and the Diamondbacks the rest of the way.
Yes.
Whether it's 7-3, 6-4, whatever, it doesn't matter. All they have to do is match what the Padres and Diamondbacks are doing. The Padres and Diamondbacks actually have to outplay the Dodgers to make up ground. So that's the advantage they have going into this final month plus of the season.
Well, the other advantage that they have is if you do keep it close, you do have 3 against them, being the Dodgers.
Head-to-head.
And you have 3 against the Diamondbacks, which is just my mind is not ready for that yet.
It's going to be pre-playoff game.
It's going to be like
an
2
insane
weeks of playoff.
You have to be minimum within 4.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you sweep, you get within 1, and you hope you pick up 1 game in the last 3.
That's right.
But theoretically, you'd rather be within a game or so if you really want a chance to make some damage in the last week of the season. All right, we'll come back, reset things. Bret Boone still to come on a Big League Wednesday. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods next on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods 97.3. The Fan. Appreciate you guys being here, being in the chat, being active. Really, I mean, can't do it without you, obviously. Thanks for being here. Love talking Padres baseball with you every single day. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Top of the morning to you.
To my left is Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it without the tier ones. They're what makes me want to get up in the morning and come in and do this show. But there are a lot of people out there who host like podcasts that don't have any audience, but they do it anyway.
Yeah, it's like
the gratification of talking and recording yourself talking for a period of time.
Yeah, maybe that's just the artistic expression.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know that famous painters, I think they painted for them.
Right.
And I think that sometimes musicians, they write songs for them.
Maybe some of these podcasts, after they die, will become very valuable.
Yes.
And they'll become very famous posthumously.
Yeah, after, oh man, this guy, I wish he could have seen this success while he was here in his basement.
And now his podcast is the biggest thing in the world now that he's gone.
I don't think that happens with podcasts.
It doesn't seem to. Not like impressionist art. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, like there's been radio shows that have come and gone. There's even in this town, there's been a couple radio stations come in. You're like, this got some promise. There's some promise here, and then it goes away quickly after a year or something. But I don't find myself going back and revisiting those and be like, yeah, they really missed on this one. They should have given this one another year or two to get off the ground. But I just don't think it happens in audio. It does happen with music a lot, actually. That happens quite a bit. You're like, man, I really should have gotten into that guy or girl when they were alive.
Somebody passes away in their albums.
They go
to the top of the charts.
through the roof.
Talk, though, is a very immediate
you want it right there.
Medium.
Yep.
Like, you go back and listen to an old Ben and Woods show, there might be some good moments, throwback stuff. But for the most part, a show from 3 years ago is going to feel kind of dated.
Slightly. Yeah.
Well, the 2021 collapse for the Padres continues here.
What is Brandon Drury doing, man? I just don't understand. But no, I have a gift for you guys. I wanted to. I brought it in this morning, and it was an interesting scenario that happened to me yesterday. So
I like gifts.
Yeah, you guys like gifts. Got one of my neighbors, Brian Geffen, really, really good dude, does screen printing, and we were talking yesterday on the show about A.S.S. Adam Scott Suarez. Now, we had another podcast, I think it was the Podfathers, that said, Woodsy, I got ass shirts for you guys. And I said, you bring all the ass that you bring it, and I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. I can handle it. I'll handle the ass.
Ass to the rescue.
Ass to the rescue. Back that ass up. Whatever pun you want to use. So they got some coming for us, too. But Brian texted me. He goes, I got ass shirts for you guys. He goes, they'll be done by the time you get off work. So I get home from the gym. I go home, and I lay down for a minute. And he's like, bro, they're at your front door. So I walk outside, and there's this huge stack of ass shirts sitting on my front porch.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's the acronym.
I said it already.
Adam, Scott, and Suarez. I just want to be clear.
And
that's nice.
And he put our Ben and Woods logo on
nice.
the back. So here's the back, the Ben and Woods, and then the front is ass.
Oh, that is epic.
Isn't that incredible? I'm holding it up to the
Heroes of the Night.
Heroes of the Night. Is that from our song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heroes of the Night. There's one for you.
Thank you. Can I get two?
Oh, you want two?
Yeah. Well,
how much ass can you handle?
So
Jesus,
I was at work.
Man over here.
I was at work yesterday, and I'm in the studio, and I have my IFB on, and Ryan, who's
what
in
is
the
an IFB?
IFB, internal feedback. It's my earpiece.
So
I can talk to the control room.
That's a 2X.
And Ryan in the control room says, "Are you on? You're on the radio like every morning, right?"
Yep,
and I go, "Yes, every day." And it says, "So was that you guys who played the novelty song about the Padres ass bullpen?" And I said, "Yeah, that was us this morning." He goes, "Oh, I had a friend who called me and he wants a copy of the song.
Can I get 6 of them?
And he wants a he wants a shirt." He said, I want a shirt." I said, "They're coming. I know people are making these shirts, so I will bring this in to him, and he requested one last night. I also need to get this and email it to him as well." So, this is apparently going to be the signature hit for the 2024 Padres.
Yeah.
a man on a mission. Swing and a miss is a pitcher's ambition. Ass to the rescue when the game's on the line. Adam Scott Suarez, triple threat divine. Padres elite squad saving the day. Empty the bullpen, let the hitters pray.
Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Yeah, this is going to be like Necklace Part 2 now. I'm going to be taking T-shirt orders for Brian later. Brian, I think he's listening.
Thank you.
He said these are basically, I whipped these up for you guys quickly. All right. So they're the guys that actually they would print all the Padres World Series shirts if they got there, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
So
official stuff.
They do custom screen printing. He asks, does the station do all our merch? Hysterical. No, we have a third party that does it, but I love how these came out. These are great. And how many did you need? You need
2 is good.
You have
Thank
2.
you.
I've got 1.
I'll give one back if you're.
No, give it to him. We got 2 left. We got an XL and an L. I'll put it in the. Here's what we'll do. We'll throw it in the Ben and Woods locker because we do have our own locker here. And then when we do an appearance, I'll bring these out and we'll give them away. I got an XL and an L. I'm not driving to your house. I'm not shipping it to you. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I'm not going to, so quit asking.
The problem is...
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
They may be a limited time commodity, as Tanner Scott is a free agent at the end of the year.
Well, listen, you're one of these guys that's worrying about next year. Paulie got me earlier off the air. I got people on my Twitter. Everyone's like, who's going to play short next year? I don't give a frog's fat ass about 2025. Not even a little. Like, I can't let my mind go anywhere to be like, next year we could. I don't care. This is so fun. I'm so into it. This is great. This is part of enjoying the ride for me. I don't care about 2025. Today on August,
it's fine
21st.
that you don't care. 2025 should be a good season for the Padres next year.
I don't want to talk about it.
But at the same time, there's no guarantee that any of this magic carries over.
No question.
To next year. You got to take advantage of the magic when you have it.
The iron is hot. It's time to strike.
The Padres clearly have some magic this year. Now, will it run out? There's been magical teams where
100%.
The magic runs out in October, and there are magical teams where the magic carries them all the way to a World Series title. Which are the Padres? We don't know yet.
We'll see.
But my recommendation would be, don't waste the magic while you have it. You may have a more talented team next year than this year. Yeah. They may not perform as well.
We know that to be true. We've seen it all, man.
You've got to come through in clutch situations, and no one really has been doing that better than the Padres this season, as illustrated again by last night's double come-from-behind 7-5 win over the Minnesota Twins.
It's been staggering. I mean, it's just been a staggering season. So, forgive me if I don't get super in the weeds on Tanner Scott coming back or Luis Ariz. What are we going to do with him? Or even contract extensions for Profar, Merrill, King, Cease. I'm so into this right now. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just telling you exactly how I feel. I cannot worry about 25 is promised to none of us. None of us. Tomorrow is promised to none of us. I want to win tonight's game. And I like that that's kind of their mentality, too, of like Adam Jones just talked about. Like, yeah, man, you see, you're 3 games back or whatever. You know what the Phillies' record is, of course. But it's not something that's going to keep you up at night. Kind of like the Rookie of the Year award for Jax Merrill. It's not going to keep him up at night. If he wins it, great. But I don't think he's going to expend much energy
if
worrying
you're AJ Preller, though, there are certain things you already have to be thinking about.
I'm not him.
You're not.
So
but,
I don't have to worry at all. Not even a little.
Morning, guys.
Do you offer Jurickson Profar a contract extension now, or do you wait until the offseason?
I don't know. I don't care.
Well, but
I don't care.
He just spent 5 minutes telling us he does not care about.
I know you don't care.
I'm begging you not to talk about it.
But what? So if Jurickson signed a contract,
who's the Mount Rushmore of contracts?
If Jurickson signed a contract extension today, you wouldn't want to talk about it.
No, if he signed one today, sure, but
should they be talking about it today? Why is that not then a topic? It certainly could be something they're discussing.
Well, I mean, a lot of things could be happening.
Maybe even should be discussing.
I have no
right
idea.
now.
I have no idea. Somebody says you're trolling me. I think you are trolling me.
I'm not trolling you. It's an absolute legitimate concern, not just for AJ Preller, but for Padres fans as well.
I've just walked back part of my statement. Orthodox Evans nailed it and says, all I care about next year is that Bud Black retires. 1,000. That is the only, two
and
things.
Dave Manager's lifetime extension.
And Dave Roberts gets a lifetime extension, and Skip Schumacher is not the Dodgers manager next year. Those are the only three things I think about and care about, and they're all manager related. So, yeah, I think you're gaslighting me right now.
No, there's a lot of stuff that you just have no idea. I mean, we've talked about Roki Sasaki. There was a report a few days ago that
I saw
he
that.
may not come over to Major League Baseball. He's having just an okay season.
So they said
it's like a 2 ERA. But
he's like 6-2 with a 2.55. He's like, I am not having a good year. I don't know if this is the best. The thing is like him coming over here is not dependent on. It's not like if he has a great year, he's going to get more money. He's going to get the same money. So, I mean, he's not playing for a contract per se, but in his mind, he's like, I'm not at my best.
Which is weird because the earlier he gets here, if he's coming early, might as well come as early as possible because then you're committing to 6 years before you can be a free agent.
100%.
And I get it. A lot of this, and I don't think we need to do any idle speculation about 2025. But again, there are legitimate issues with guys who are going to be free agents at the end of this year that you could be talking about locking up right now.
And there is
like Jurickson Profar.
There is a better than 50% chance that they absolutely are. That AJ Preller is probably in a room with a couple of his guys kicking it around and going, what's it look like? What does it look like? Jurickson does not have Scott Boras anymore, so that's a check mark in favor of the Padres and AJ Preller. But I'm so into every night's game. And I know in this business it's our job to kick things around and prognosticate and forecast, but I don't have a crystal ball. I'm enjoying 24 so much more, Ben, than I thought I would. So much more than I thought I would. It's been the most fun I've had covering this team, and that includes a run to the NLCS. That was so special and magical. Last year really sullied a lot of those good vibes.
There was a lot of frustration.
There was a lot of frustration,
even in 2022, until the end, until they beat the Mets and the Dodgers. It was
until the Brewers lost and we got into the playoffs that day. we lost. Yeah. And the Brewers lost, and Padres lose again. Like
backed in.
By the way, the San Diego Padres have just clinched the playoffs. Oh, super
popping
cool.
champagne
like
corks
the 7th
after
or
a
8th
loss.
inning.
Yeah, and it was like,
and then they lost.
And
they still pop champagne corks.
I was down there. I was down on the field after that game.
Yeah.
It was very awkward.
It's a weird one.
Like the guys came back out on the field and were like half hugging, and a couple guys like ran to get their playoff T-shirts and hats.
Yeah.
Other guys were like, we lost.
Yeah.
Like, I'll grab mine later. It was
So
very
good.
weird. It was super uncomfortable.
It's so good, man. I'll tell you though, you're right. If today AJ Preller said, we have a news conference at 3:00, and the news was we've extended Jurickson Profar for 3 years at $60 million or whatever it is, $25 million, $40 million.
I have no idea what he's going to cost.
I mean, what is he worth right now? He's worth $30 million a year.
Is anyone going to pay him that?
No, he's playing for one. So,
God, that's a tough spot to be in.
It's a tough spot to be in. But Jurickson doesn't care. Why would I care? All that dude wants to do is win tonight's game. And so that's just kind of where my headspace is. I'm not in the position of having really to worry about 2025 when 2024 has just been such a delight. It's just they're just a delightful team to watch, man. And even last night, man, had they lost by one, bro, it still was an excellent baseball game with Bailey Ober pitching. Really, I can appreciate a guy going out and pitching his ass off, pitching his heart out, good defensive plays, blah, blah, blah. I can appreciate that. You're not going to win every single game from here on out. You're just not. That I would bet my life on. They're not going to run the table for the next 5 weeks. But you can't watch this team and not say there's something special here. It's very, very special this year. So I'm just trying to stay in that moment.
We saw so many games last year where it felt like the Padres outplayed their opponent, hit them, had so many opportunities, and then went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position and lost by 1. This year, it's nice to see a game that goes the other way. The Twins had more opportunities yesterday.
It's nice to see 30 games that go that way.
And the Padres they also are a good team that has played well.
Yes.
But yesterday was one of those games where they were probably outplayed a little bit, but they came through with the big hits in the right moments.
Oh, so awesome,
and stole one away on a game that they weren't favored to win. They were Bailey Ober's, 1 or 2 pitcher for the Twins. Martin Perez is the 5 pitcher for the Padres. That's a game where you're an underdog. Vegas made them underdogs in that game, and they found a way to win it anyway.
You told me not to take the Padres.
I did
last night.
I warned you, at least cautioned you.
I took them. I was very happy.
There you go.
Very, very happy.
All right. So yesterday we had Jesse on and gave him a Prince-themed Incorporator for television, though. Very different than radio Incorporator. In radio, it's Jesse's show. But in television, it's everybody's show. How do you work in Prince song lyrics to the broadcast? Did anyone catch it last night live? Came in a very big inning of the game.
I was very giddy when I heard it. Very giddy.
We will pay that off for you coming up next.
For 4 innings. I'm
I
like,
was waiting.
Is this it?
Yeah, I was waiting.
Is this it? Damn.
Coming up next after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, I love it.
Prince.
No, I love it. I love that song so much. For those in the chat, it's Let's Go Crazy.
Now, was Prince a sports fan?
Oh, yeah.
He backed the Minnesota Twins and the Vikings pretty strongly.
And an athlete. An athlete. Like a really, really good basketball player. That dude knew hoops inside and out. And the Charlie Murphy story is absolutely real. I heard him on Stern telling it again. Like, no, man. They said, did Prince really beat you at basketball? He goes, basketball is a team game. But yes, my team did lose 4-on-4 to Prince's team. It wasn't a 1-on-1. But and it is true. He did it in high heels, like big ass, chunky pumps, and he would go up and play basketball in like big purple chunky pumps.
Because he still had to have style.
Yeah, I mean he was a legend. And there's this Stern special they just did, like a storytellers. They had 20 different people in there telling about the time that they met Prince, and it is riveting radio.
Speaking of rocking the shoes, Paulie was just telling us about Mike Schiltz.
Yeah.
New shoes yesterday.
Yeah, just saw that.
He was unaware of how cool his shoes actually were. They were a gift from Manny Machado.
Yeah, it's so good.
What specifically? They were Travis Scott, Nike Jumpman.
Yeah, I saw
really sharp looking shoes.
Yeah, Julian Delgadio posted a couple of pictures of Schilt wearing some Jordans yesterday, and he says, I complimented Mike Schilt on his Jordan Jumpman Cactus Jack TR sales by Travis Scott. Those are very expensive Jordans, the Travis Scott Jordan collab.
And he probably gets a discount.
Yeah,
probably. They're already expensive to buy, and then the resale is insane on those. Like, if you are lucky enough to get one on a lottery drop or whatever, it's like, just go ahead and flip them. It's worth it.
Not once you've worn them, though, Mike.
Right, you don't wear them.
Yeah, you don't wear them.
And then Julian
He's like,
says,
I could have made $1,000 on these.
Julian says, Schilt said they were a gift from Manny, and he had no idea who Travis Scott was.
I love it so much. That's our manager, man. He's not worried about anything. He's I'm comfortable. I'll just put them on.
Well, the reason we played Prince, though, is that it was a Prince-themed Incorporator. We've been doing song lyric Incorporators for Jesse the last few weeks as the shoes go up in our chat. And yesterday, Jesse joined us and said, yeah, even though he's going to be on television with Tony instead of radio, he's ready to accept the challenge of another song lyric Incorporator. So with the Minnesota Twins in town, we chose Prince, and here's what we had for Jesse. All right, so we've been picking something to do with the opponent and where they're from, and with Minnesota, it was pretty obvious where we were going with this week's song lyric. So here you go, the Incorporator for Jesse tonight.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Oh,
there it is.
Yes. What a jam.
Prince, Let's Go Crazy. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
What an epic song. So good.
So we had to wait for this one a little bit.
Yeah, and, we were watching on television.
I thought he'd open the broadcast with it.
Could come anywhere.
I mean, I thought that what a great way to open the whole broadcast. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life and San Diego Padres baseball.
Wouldn't have been a bad way to do it.
Super easy.
Now, he waited all the way until the seventh inning. Padres down 3-1. Jake Cronenworth, I believe, was sitting on second base after a bloop double. Manny Machado was about to step to the plate, and the Twins had called their pitching coach out to discuss things with Bailey Ober before said at-bat, which turned out to be, if you might remember, a fairly pivotal at-bat of last night's game. Here was Jesse Agler with Tony Gwynn on Padres.tv.
Pitching coach Pete Mackey on his way out there. Here's the thing, speaking of the Twins and history and stuff that I did not know, and I think this goes back to their World Series year of 1987. You think Minneapolis, St. Paul, of course, you think about Prince. And so every time the Twins pitching coach goes out to the mound, just to loosen the group up at the beginning of the conversation, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. And then he goes into the coaching. Now, I just made that up, but it would be pretty cool.
See, having been your radio partner, I knew you made that up.
He just had to lie his way into the Incorporator.
Well, so
night.
He obviously does the Incorporator. Manny comes up, hits the tank. As soon as he did it, I texted him. I said, LMAO. And Jesse Agler wrote back, upside down smiley face. And I said, what timing after the home run? He said, we needed the karma. And I said, the purple one never disappoints. Then he went silent. Then they won the game, and he wrote, never. And I said, man, it was epic. It was just an incredible, incredible win. And, one of my favorite Incorporators, because the timing of it was spectacular. Knocks it out of the park, and then Manny knocks it out of the park.
I never know if he plans, like if that was how he had it planned the whole time, or
Yeah.
if he has a couple of different possible ways, depending
Spur
on
of the moment.
depending on how the game goes. But he texted me in the afternoon yesterday. He said, "Hey, what was the lyric exactly again?" I sent it over. He says, "Thanks," and he wrote, "I might go pretty extreme today."
Ooh, I like that.
And I was like, "Well, I'm all in." I don't
think
know if that was that.
outright lying is fairly extreme. So.
I think it would have been funny if he not said, I just made that up, and just let it roll. And then people are like, wow, they really used to do that? Then somebody goes and asks one of the guys, or did they really used to do this?
No,
they didn't.
I mean, pitching coaches only get 30 seconds. I don't know they want to waste it with
dearly beloved, we are
gathered here today to get through this thing called life. 24 seconds left.
Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld, a world of never-ending happiness, a world where I blew it.
To call up that shrink in Beverly Hills.
You know the one, Dr. Everything Feel All Right? Dr. Everything Will Be All Right? Instead of asking him how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind. Because in this life, things are much harder than in the afterworld. In this life, you're on your own.
Dun, dun, dun,
Pretty
dun.
close.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, we've got Bret Boone on a Big League Wednesday. Booney going to join us when we come back. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. don't feel like it doesn't feel like the dog days of August for the San Diego Padres.
It really doesn't.
Maybe other teams. I know that's a real phenomenon, but I'm into every game. It's almost like it feels like a playoff game almost every night.
It really does. And you know who else it doesn't look like it's the dog days for? The San Diego Padres. I mean, these dudes are having as much fun as they've had all season long. And obviously winning a lot of games certainly helps that. But these dudes are just real, and that's all they talk about.
I'd be curious how much of the fun, the vibes, I feel like it's a lot attributed to Jackson Merrill.
Sure, a lot.
Like, almost exclusively. Like, I know Profar was the vibes guy, and we kind of made jokes about that over the offseason. Like, hey, bring him in for the vibes. But Jackson Merrill is playing like an MVP, but he's also playing like a rookie.
Yeah.
He's having the most fun of his entire life. He's an absolute dog. We talked about how he shows up to the ballpark at 11 a.m. for 7 o'clock games or whatever. Like, he is having so much fun, and I just feel like that is completely infectious throughout the entire clubhouse.
Absolutely.
I think it's also the crowds and the fans that make it feel special. I mean, last night was, I think they said it was the smallest crowd in 2 months. 39,000.
Good Lord.
Just
Step it
under
up, guys.
40,000. But the atmosphere felt like a playoff. It was a loud, enthusiastic crowd. That's got to help players. We'll talk to Bret Boone. He's standing by on a Big League Wednesday about the dog days and what helps you get through it. Coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Crash still in clearing state on eastbound King Freeway past Kenwood. Also westbound King Freeway at the South 125 connector ramp. A collision. Cordell traffic cam shows an accident involving a motorcycle on northbound 5 before 6th Street. Everything in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we're joined right now by Odyssey MLB insider Bret Boone. Insider Calls presented by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Bret, the host of the Bret Boone podcast, featuring the most notable names in MLB and around sports every week. And we say good morning to Booney. Bret, how have you been this past week?
Good. And who else would it be with that epic Crazy Town song?
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It warms my heart every Wednesday.
It gets me excited, too, Booney. We were just talking about the dog days. I'm sure you heard us when we came back from break. It doesn't feel like August 21st, right? I mean, there's a lot of teams right now that are, they are counting the days until the season is over. It's been a rough one for a lot of teams. But this one, I mean, these guys look as fresh and energized and energetic and having as much fun as they have all season long. It's been incredible.
Well, when you go on, there's dog days and then there's dog days. These days there's less dog days for teams because there's more playoff spots. So you still got guys grinding. Whereas in past years, a lot of these teams are out of it. Dog days start at the All-Star game. But these Padres, unbelievable. I think, what are they, 22 out of the last 27? Comebacks like last night. I kind of turned the TV off, and then I got to check, and I'll check back in. I'm going, wait a minute, Machado hit a home run. It's tied.
Oh, you turned it off?
I turned it off. Well, I'm flipping. I got a big bandwidth, Woodsy. So I'm watching a lot of different things, and I thought, tonight Ober, he's pitching pretty good. They're probably not going to win. All of a sudden, it's 3-3.
Yeah, man.
And then it's just Profar and then I turn back in, it's 5-3, and then it's 6-5, and I'm going, what happened? I see Profar at the end getting interviewed. I said, they won? So I went back through it. But did it really surprise? I've seen teams go on this run right now. I've been looking at the landscape. I mean, I think it's awesome. I've talked about before how as a player, I don't really like it, because I think the playoff system's a little watered down, and people can put playoffs on their resume, whereas in past years it was a lot harder to get there.
Yeah.
That being said, this side of the ledger, watching this, being an analyst, it's good entertainment. And I think it's great what the Padres are going through right now. There's so many teams that could possibly win. And I think at this stage, in 2024, if you can sit there and say, well, these are the clear-cut teams that are going to win the World Series, you're crazy.
Yeah, you're nuts.
Because you can't. If you're going to – I'll tell you what, today, if the playoffs start tomorrow, I'll take my chances with this Padre team.
Same.
The way they've been playing and the way that bullpen has really been shored up with the acquisitions at the trade deadline. I'll take them against anybody in baseball. But if you're looking at a big picture, there's 8 teams really that could win. I mean, could you say the Dodgers can't? Milwaukee, Philly, Minnesota, Houston, the way they've just emerged from, everybody thought they were dead and buried. Baltimore, Yankees. I mean, there's so many teams that can win. I think this postseason we're in for a real treat from an entertainment value. And it's pretty cool to watch this Padre team and what they're doing and the run they're making right now. I mean, 2 months ago, I think another assessment is, well, the Padres they're a playoff team, right? But they're not going to contend for this division. They're right in the middle of this thing. I mean, this thing could come down to the wire, and they could win this division. Everybody thought the Dodgers were going to run away and hide. They've had problems of their own, as far as staying healthy. So this division's open. And Arizona, how good are they playing as well? They're right there out of nowhere. So it's really fun. This National League West is shaping up, I think, to be the best division in baseball, and the Padres right now are playing like the best team in baseball.
Bret, for you as a player, how much difference did it make playing in front of 12,000 versus 40,000 in a game? And did it make a difference if it was a home crowd, or did you get just as geared up if you were on the road and there were 40,000 fans cheering against you?
Well, there's nothing better than a packed house at home. I mean, that's the ultimate, because pretty much everybody's pulling for you, but I'd get just as geeked going to Yankee Stadium in a sellout crowd and everybody yelling at me and hating me. That was just as that adrenaline was just as good. But yeah, you'll always take that home crowd. Over the course of a season, 162 games, the crowds, you go down to Tampa Bay or in the old Miami Stadium before they built the new one, and sometimes there's 8,000 people. Yeah, that is no fun. It doesn't get the adrenaline going. It's raining at BP, and it's going to be one of those hot nights. But you deal with it. You learn in the big leagues. You're a pro, and you go about it, and you have a job to do, and you do it each and every day. And of course, you want those big electric crowds, night game. That's the ultimate. But you've got to deal with it. Nowadays, the crowds, you don't go from 40 to 12 too often. Usually, there's 20,000 people in the crowd wherever you go. So yeah, definitely the crowd adds to it, and I think the Padres are going to have no problem, especially down the stretch, having pretty darn good crowds. But these guys don't need it right now. I mean, I can just see the looks on they're having a good time first and foremost. That's the most important thing. You're enjoying your teammates. You're having fun. You don't have to fake it. We can see by your body language, by the look on your face, these guys are having fun, and they're not tired at all right now. Trust me. It's August 21st, and these guys feel like it's April 7th as far as how their bodies feel. When you're on a run like this, it's amazing how those aches and pains are a little less. And then if you go to I'll tell you what, that Chicago White Sox team, those injuries, those little injuries feel like they need surgery. So that's the difference in having a real fun run and a good team to those real dog days when you're having, you don't have a very good team and you're losing a lot of games. There's a big difference.
Talking to Bret Boone here on Ben and Woods this morning. All right, Boone, I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to name some names because Jurickson Profar, we've talked about it this morning. He's an irritant. The other team looks at him. They don't like the way he smiles and does the gritty when he hits a home run, celebrates. They don't like him.
MVP of the Padres.
Yeah, 100%, right? And so when you played, were there guys, who are some guys that you played against? You're like, this guy's driving me crazy. Like, I don't know him very well.
But if he was on our
team, we'd love him. Boy. But, man, this guy's driving me nuts. And not that you don't like playing and competing against him, but, like, somebody just kind of got under your skin, like, with the way they play.
Well, I found this early in my career. I hated everybody.
Yeah.
every opponent. I was a young, snot-nosed, brash guy myself, and I couldn't stand the opponent, the way they looked, the way they walked, the way they talked. As time went on, and this might have been not a good thing, you get established, and you're in the league for 10 or 12 years, and you kind of do off-season functions, and you go to events where you get to meet these guys.
Right.
95% of the time, I'd walk away like, damn it, I can't hate him anymore.
I did not want to like him
from afar. So I don't know if it weakened me as a player as I went on. I'd lost my edge. Like, I love just hating your guts and want to hit you in the face with a frying pan. I spent a little time with you. You know, I went to dinner with you. I had a beer with you, and you're actually a good guy. And it kind of, I wondered if it took away my, especially when it was a pitcher. You know, the pitchers are the ones you love to hate.
Of course.
And when I became buddies with a pitcher, I felt like I lost my edge. I'd come to the plate, and, hey, that's my buddy, and I really like him, but I got to beat his brains in right now. And did I lose my edge as a hitter? So, yeah, you have those guys, especially early in your career, but as you get to know guys, for the most part, and I know people hate hearing this, most of the guys out there are really good guys. They really are. They really are. There's not too many. There's a handful of guys that I played with or against that I wouldn't mind if I never heard or saw them again in the rest of my life. But for the rest of them, they're pretty good dudes.
Who flipped you, though? Like, who's one that you can remember that flipped you, where you're like, I hate this guy, I'm going to light him up? And
Clemens. I wanted
okay.
to kill him. I wanted to kill him. There's Clemens. There's a good story. My first at bat in the big leagues against Clemens. I'm digging in. I'm scared to death, but I'm not letting you know. I'm a tough guy. I smoke a ball, spin his derby, right through the box, base hit. I steal second. I score. He's yelling at me the whole time. You rookie did it, swinging hard, and I'm yelling back, F you big, you know. And I'm sitting there inside. I'm just, my heart's beating. I'm going, that's Clemens. My next at bat, he hits me in the head.
Oh my God.
Sounds like
now, he didn't hit me good. It was a glancing blow, but it was scary. And I'm sitting there going, I got to go get him. I've been in the big leagues like 4 days. I'm like, I got to go get him, but I can't go get him. I'm a rookie. You know, everything's going through your mind.
You're thinking a little Robin Ventura, Nolan Ryan. You don't want that to happen.
No, I wasn't worried. I think I would have fared better than Robin did. And I love Robin. But it wasn't the time or the place. Throughout my career, I held that. I just wanted to kill him. I finally took him deep in New York, and I mean a bomb. And I remember going to an All-Star game, and he was on the other side. I think, I don't know if I was in the National League, American League. He was in the National League, American. We were on separate sides, and I got a request. He said, Roger sent over some items for his son. His son's an upcoming baseball player. He's a second baseman. You're one of his guys. And I just thought, well, the irony here. The irony. Now you want a taste. So I ended up not signing him. I held him there, and I waited till I saw him out on the field, and I said, of course I'll sign him for you. And kind of buried the hatchet at that point. It was just the competitiveness, but for years and years, man, I didn't get him till I was a salty veteran. It took me like 10 years before I took him deep, but it was pretty satisfying. So I held that for a long time. But there's really no guys that I hated. I couldn't stand Bonds, but I respected him so much.
Sure.
When he stepped into the field, it's like, this guy's so much better than the rest of us. And what am I going to say to him? You know, he'd come out to second base, and he'd give you the nonchalant, Boone, what's going on? And I'd be like, oh, okay, Barry.
Hi,
but
Barry.
I'm like, this guy's the greatest player. It's like I'm talking to Jordan. What do you say? He backs up everything he says. And you know, so I really didn't have that hatred, and especially as life went on. And I got to know these guys. It's like I really didn't hate them. You know, you'd look for that rookie to come up that had some swagger.
Yes.
You can go hate on him because you don't know him yet, you know. But for the most part, pretty good relationship with the guys. And doesn't mean I didn't want to kick their butt.
Sure.
You know, when they're playing against us, I want to go get you. I hated that Yankee team. They broke my heart on a couple occasions in the postseason. But what they accomplished, and that group of guys, they were just pros. So it was tough to hate them. You know, you want to hate them, but it's like, man, you got to respect their body of work.
Yeah, you had the generational thing with Barry, obviously, coming from a baseball family like he did. So I assumed you could relate to him a little bit, at least on that level.
Well, we had 3 generations, Ben. He only had 2.
Yeah, that's
fair. No, I'm
fair.
kidding. I remember we had words one time in Cincinnati, Bonds and me, you know, kind of a quippy back and forth. And his dad was a coach for the San Francisco Giants. My dad was the bench coach for Cincinnati.
No.
And I kind of made the remark, why don't you get your dad? I'll get my dad, and we'll go at it.
Let's go.
And that got Barry to kind of smile at me like, all right, we're really not being serious. I'm just giving you a hard time because I'm a better player than you, right, Brett? And I said, yeah, you are a better player than me. But he didn't really mean it. So, yeah, we had a little bit of that back and forth. But all in all, you know, Barry, you know how I feel about it. It's the greatest.
He's unreal. Yeah, best I've ever seen. No question.
No.
Scariest guy ever in the place.
So
no
scary.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
Brett, appreciate it as always.
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
He's playing slow pitch softball. The rest of us are playing big league baseball.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly right.
Thanks, Booney. We'll talk to you next week.
That was awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Odyssey Insider Bret Boone. Insider Calls presented by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. I never thought about that. So if your dad was the coach on the other team and there was a benches clearing brawl, theoretically, you could have been out there brawling against your dad.
Yeah, theoretically.
In that game.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
or
imagine
in
that.
that case, have a tag team.
You and your dad
against Barry Bonds and his dad.
Except they were on opposite teams. That would have been weird. It would have been one guy.
Wait,
no, he said Bonds' dad was coaching with the Giants.
And
and Bret was on. They were both.
Yeah,
okay,
on the
so
Reds
they were
with his
tag
dad
team.
coaching
Got it.
That's right. Yeah, the tag team would be a good bit, but I gotta go Team Bonds there. No offense to Bret. They're two units right there. Barry and Bobby Bonds are two absolute units. Not that the
Boone,
not that they're not, but man,
tough guy, catcher.
100%.
Always tough.
Man, that's such a good story about Clemens. Such a good story. Screaming at him for swinging hard.
He said
by the way.
It was only a glancing blow. It's not like Roger said, "I'm going to throw it at his head," but only a glancing blow.
Right,
at
I'm
his
just going
head.
to nick this guy.
Forget how much of a lunatic Roger Clemens
Lunatic.
was.
Love it. This is unreal.
All right, we got an hour to go still. More Padres talk, some Paul Reindl headlines coming up in the Reindl Report. Don't go away. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. I always enjoy the fun and quirky stats that a baseball season produces. Obviously, there's the big ones. Padres have the best record in baseball since the All-Star break, 22-5, which also and Kevin Acee had this, matches the best 27-game run in team history. So the Padres, no Padres team has ever done better than 22-5 over a 27-game stretch. They did it once in 2005 and once in 1989, and he says no Padres team has ever won 23 of 28. So chance to go for that today with a win and a sweep. I like the whole the 4-run innings. Padres are 43 times that they have had at least 4 runs in an inning this year. That's already the 3rd most in franchise history, and they still have 35 games left, or whatever it is, to improve on that.
If you looked on Twitter last night, we have the worst offense in baseball by far, man. This is nuts, though. And we talked yesterday, Benny, about the late inning. You know, what's their when they score like in the 7th and 8th, they're one of the hottest hitting teams in the 7th and 8th, which, again, not the most pleasurable viewing experience. Let's be honest. Like, oh, God, we got to wait till the 7th. And then you get that feeling if they don't score in the 7th, you're like, it's probably game. This stat is pretty nuts. Posted by a Dodger fan, actually, yesterday. It says, if it feels like the Padres and D-backs just don't quit, it's because they rank number 1 and number 2 in baseball this season in high leverage WRC plus, weighted runs created plus. The Padres in late inning situations, high leverage situations, a 303 batting average, 386 OBP, 514 slug. That's in comparison to the Diamondbacks, 250. 250, 360, 437, 119 WRC plus. The Padres 153 WRC plus in late innings and high leverage.
And I fully believe if you flipped it and the Padres had last year's lack of success in the clutch moments, they'd be languishing probably around 500. Not 17 games above 500 right now.
No question.
They needed all of that to get to where they are right now. And then the other the stat that I had from the UT just goes along with my long-held narrative that as Manny Machado goes, so goes the Padres. The Padres are now 20-0 this season when Manny Machado drives in multiple runs in a game.
Insane.
So the 2-run home run essentially clinched the victory. Even though they were only tied and they fell behind, Manny drives in 2. The Padres win that game, at least so far this year. So always some fun stats. I know Wood said something that he needs to get off of his chest regarding Shohei Ohtani. And we'll get that a little bit later this hour.
This is news to me.
Well, you were tweeting about it last night.
Yeah, come on.
You've got a gripe for Major League Baseball about Shohei Ohtani.
This is insane.
But hold on to that thought, and we will get to that after Paulie's Reindl Report. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right, indeed.
Good morning, my friends. We will start off just some fun audio here. So Kevin James, big New York Mets fan, and he was at the game yesterday.
My doppelganger. Just go ahead and say it.
I wasn't
going
Yeah,
I know
say
why
it.
you did the story. It's fine.
No.
Yes, I look like Kevin James. I get it.
I don't think you do.
I get it.
Just because other people may say it doesn't mean it's true.
King of Queens. I've heard it all.
It's not the worst comparison.
It's not the best. It's not Steve McQueen
It's
or
not,
something like that.
Oh, a movie about your life. Who stars as you? You don't want them to say Kevin James.
Right. Yeah, it's like
if Nicolas
Steve
Cage
Buscemi
can play John Madden, I'm sure Kevin James can play Stephen Woods.
Well, yeah, obviously. Like he's my twin. He looks just like me, or I look just like him. Apparently, that's why I get it all the time.
I don't see it. I'm looking at it right now. I don't see it. But Kevin James was at the game. He did like a pregame. He threw out the first pitch and did a he was like screaming into the mic, but it was during the game. This is in the bottom of the 4th inning on SNY, and they were interviewing him from his seats, and he got on a, it was just a fly ball. Routine fly ball.
And you can't take batting practice with them during the when they're in the hunt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, not enough. Oh,
it was right at the wall.
Todd Zealand, why did you do that to me, man? All right.
We're all guilty. I do it at least one time a night. Oh, yeah, it's gone. Nope. All right. Right at the wall.
It was close.
It was really close. That was close.
Those center field ones are always the hardest to judge, too.
You can't take batting practice with them during the when they're in the hunt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love the
oh,
no. Not no. Oh, yeah. Save the oh, yeah. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good bit.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Looking through ESPN, football season is pretty much upon us. And I completely forgot already that Pete Carroll is no longer coaching in the NFL. Had a weird exit with the Seattle Seahawks. And he's returning to USC, not to coach football.
I didn't think he
was
was
not taking over for
Clay Helton.
No, Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley, I mean, yeah. Clay Helton.
It's been a minute. Throwback. So Pete Carroll went on, I don't know if this was on Softy's show up in Seattle.
It was.
It was on his show. It was on his station for
KJR,
sure.
KJR.
And he told Softy that he is returning to USC in the spring, but to be a teacher.
I would go to his class in a heartbeat. He'd be a great professor.
What class?
I don't know.
He didn't offer any details after that. He kind of kept it quiet.
Pete
but he
Carroll
said,
101.
Yeah, Pete Carroll 101.
I'm looking forward to it. Carroll said it's going to be a really exciting endeavor when it's finalized and all that. So it's still probably in the process. But yeah, Pete Carroll won a national championship at USC, won a Super Bowl
Good
in the
energy,
NFL.
man. Good,
too much.
guy.
I feel like he's going to be like 7 a.m. class, and he's going to come in like
all fired up,
raring to go, and it's just going to be bleary-eyed college kids going, "Why are we here this early?" And coaches, he's all fired up, ready to teach. And
I think the right football coach though could make a great teacher. Like you're teaching as a coach. You're teaching these young men about the game, about life, about whatever.
Most of my college professors sounded like Bill Belichick and just talked like this.
I had priests for a lot of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
At Loyola?
At Holy Cross.
Holy Cross, right.
And that was an experience. Oh, yeah, it was an experience. They weren't the coolest guys at all, really.
Did you call them father, or what did you call them?
Yeah, father.
Not professor, father.
Father. It was odd. I would like to be a professor, I think.
What would you teach?
English.
English.
Yeah. I could be an English professor. I like it. Just a little group think, sitting around. I like the circles. I always liked in college when you'd break out into circles.
You really just want to be asked to give a radio seminar.
I would like that, yeah.
No one's asked you, though.
Nobody's asked me. It's all right. It happens. I mean, why would you ever want, the number one show to tell people how
you've seen it all, failures and successes both.
100%.
You've worked with difficult co-hosts. Mm-hmm. You've worked with the best co-hosts out there.
I have.
And you'd have a lot to share.
Yeah, I would like to do my dream when I was a kid, I wanted to be a social worker first and then a teacher. That was what I always wanted to do. I always thought I was going to teach and coach.
What does a social worker actually do?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I know, they help
very
people.
Wide range.
In my mind, it was to be altruistic and help. And then I realized, they didn't make a lot of money, and their life, you see so much gnarly stuff. I don't have the constitution for it. I don't have the constitution to be able to see that much difficulty on a daily basis, right? And take everyone's problems in and be like, oh, this is happening, and you're without a home and things like that. I just couldn't have done it. But so then I thought, all right, I'll teach. And then, because that always appealed to me, the teaching and coaching.
Both professions, though, that are helping other people.
Yeah.
Would you say we help other people in our profession? I mean, outside of, obviously, we did the charity golf tournament. We've done some things like that. But on a day-to-day basis, would you say part of our job is helping people?
I think we do a pretty good job of it. I get a lot of messages about, hey, you guys helped me through this or through our day. I got one yesterday.
It's weird. It doesn't feel like that's the job. It's more entertaining people.
Right.
But does
Which
entertaining
helps.
people help people as well?
Got a message yesterday when we went to Hawaii, right? Standing in line and there was a Tier 1 there, and he was there with his kid, and his kid, you could tell, his kid had the hat on, he had the Oakleys on top, he had his baseball bag. They were going to a tournament in Honolulu. So he wrote me yesterday. This is incredible that you brought this up. Hey, Woodsy, not sure if you remember me or not. I said what's up to you at the SD airport while waiting to board the flight. My son Zeke was getting ready to play an international tournament. I was questioning him about swinging first pitch. So I was talking to him. I go, what position you play? Play short. How are you hitting? He's like, good. My coaches really don't like when I swing at the first pitch, so they've kind of like tried to train that out of me. And his dad's like, bro, it's sometimes the best pitch you're going to get. And I looked at him and I go, you're going to a tournament, right? He goes, yeah. And I go, hack. Get up there and hack. First pitch, you see it, just barrel it. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, that's just a good approach for a young kid. And so I get this message. He goes, I want to say thanks for chiming in. My kid broke out of his slump, got aggressive at the plate. He hit 455 offensively against some really strong teams from Mexico, Australia, Korea, and Japan. Anyway, thanks. And keep up with your boys and enjoy the ride with them. It goes quick. Say what up to Ben and Paul for me.
Nice.
That was from Danny. I was like, oh, hell yeah. So it was nice. So I'd say, yeah, I helped that guy.
I think ultimately, though, there's a lot of jobs that you wouldn't think of that help people. I mean, if I go to a restaurant and I just get a really good server who like takes care of me well, and that helps me and helps my day. And you're like touching people no matter what you do, even if you're just cashier at a place and you're treated friendly and respectfully. That can brighten someone's day and help them. There's so many ways that you can actually be helpful in your day-to-day life, no matter what job you do.
Yeah, our beloved Elisa says she's a social worker. She says she can't leave it at work. That would be the hardest part about that gig. I don't even know how we got on this tangent.
I don't either.
What were we talking about? Pete Carroll. Oh, yeah, teaching.
Of course.
10 minutes ago.
Continue.
All right. Well, you know who else can help people is bartenders. Saw this story. I think we could have a little discussion here. Not really a news
Woods has
article.
been a bartender.
I've
been a bartender.
I
Woods
know
has been
bartenders.
a bartender.
I've ordered from bartenders.
Yeah.
I've never tended bar myself.
I'm shocked.
So you will be answering these questions maybe from a different angle. But I saw this story here. It is bartenders chime in on 12 drink orders that ring alarm bells, meaning that ticket comes in and you go, son.
Yeah, you shake
I
your
always
head.
worry that I'm ordering something that's going to cause like the bartender to roll his eyes.
You are.
I am.
Yeah. Chances are.
What if it's like one of their signature cocktails, but it's on the menu? That's
when you're kind of
fair game.
That's fair game.
Yeah,
because you're prepared to make those.
But
if I
it's,
just order like a Jack and Coke, that's easy.
You're a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an
I know
absolute
that.
dream.
Can I know beer?
Beer, got you.
Right.
Let me pop the top on this. Anything frozen. Anything frozen's a nightmare.
Unless they have one of those Slurpee machines.
Unless they have a machine.
Well, the number one drink, I couldn't agree more. Mojitos. Nightmare.
There's mint that you have to muddle. It's just anything with muddling, and I'm an old-fashioned guy too, so I know they're gonna have to muddle
the
some
old-fashioned.
But those are usually
signature
on the cocktail.
Yep, you're right.
Side of the menu.
What's the worst drink? Like you walk into a dive bar, right, where they don't have the slushy machines and the signature cocktails, and you ask for my wife with her 14-step margarita that she gets everywhere we go. I'm like, God, just get a beer.
One of them on here says a very specific martini.
Yep, martini.
Well, I think one of the ones that I've seen ordered that I see bartenders roll their eyes is either Irish coffee, like a Kahlua, or an espresso martini, because then they have to go back to the kitchen to get the coffee like brewed and then come back. Sometimes, yeah. If it's not right there at the bar. Coffee maybe is there at the bar, but like an espresso, the espresso machine's not usually there in the bar, so that's a tough one.
I thought, do they actually have espresso in there? I thought it was just espresso-flavored liqueur.
I guess it depends on
what it is.
Where you're ordering from.
Yeah, gin fizz, somebody said.
Yep, that's right here.
Is
That's
that on there?
List, yeah.
Gin fizz,
man.
sex on the beach.
Yeah, it's not too hard. It's just peach schnapps and OJ and...
Pineapple juice?
Maybe?
Cranberry juice?
Something like that.
Vodka.
It's not too hard.
Yeah.
Long Island iced tea is
this
kind
one
of a
I think is
nightmare.
great. Bloody Marys outside of brunch hours.
100%.
You're a monster.
You're also a pervert, I think.
White Russian. You got to go find the milk.
Milk.
It's not just sitting there on the bar
by
like
the way,
alcohol.
It's been there
it's not
a while.
in the gun.
Yeah, it's been there.
Who knows
a
how
minute.
long the milk
That
has
heavy,
been sitting there?
The heavy cream for a White Russian.
Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, those are a nightmare.
Lots of ingredients.
Just, yeah, I'm pretty... I mean, unless you're ordering, like, shot of Jack and a Bud, you're kind of being a nightmare a little bit. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're going into that thinking, I just want to be I want to be a convenience for the bartender.
Yeah.
It's a beer. It's a shot. That's pretty much a glass of wine. That's pretty much all you got.
Dominic says, the thing used to drive me crazy was someone ordering a sweet drink like a pina colada and then complaining they couldn't taste the alcohol. Well, then order a glass of scotch then. Yeah, you'll taste the alcohol there, buddy.
Now, did you ever, as a bartender, did someone ever order something you didn't know what it was?
Oh, yeah. Many times. There's a book.
Because I'm looking at this list that Paulie is from, and what is this one? I've never heard of this. What is in a... I've lost it.
Good talk.
What's the Hemingway one?
I'll wait for you.
My computer's not
here it is.
Cooperating.
Death in the afternoon.
Death in the afternoon. What's in a if someone ordered a death in the afternoon, what's in it?
I stabbed them at the bar. I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
I haven't either.
Where is it? During a literary-themed party, many attendees ordered a death in the afternoon, which consists of absinthe and champagne.
Oh, my God.
That's potentially where the death part comes in. Combined with the champagne, blah, blah, blah. It's just pure alcohol with nothing to cut.
Sounds terrible.
You also worry about, heavy alcohol drinks. The guy's going to get drunk really quickly and then be a problem if you're a bartender.
Brutus says, was at a bar Friday. The bartender literally had to go buy milk for the dude's drink.
Oh, my God.
If you're that guy that...
Just order something.
If you're that guy that made it, call. If you're the guy that ordered it, also call.
Both of you at the same time.
One of you I'm going to give a prize to. The other one I'm going to shame on the radio airwaves. If the bartender, this is something Ben would do. If the bartender says, I'd love to make one, I don't have any milk, I could go buy some, and you're like, yeah, that sounds good.
It'll be like 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, but, we can do that.
My wife works at a restaurant and bar, and sometimes they don't have something, but there's a bar next door.
Yeah.
So they'll just go and trade in the other's kitchens when they're out of something.
I've had to run many times to do an alcohol run. Yeah, buy bottles of rum or something because the order didn't come in. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. Yeah. Just try to be
mindful.
Be mindful. Be self-aware when you're out there. What drink needs milk? The White Russian? Is that
just
it?
a White Russian, I think.
Milk.
Oh, no, there's a milk punch. I had one this weekend on vacation.
Oh.
That doesn't sound...
You were on vacation this weekend?
Staycation.
Oh, last week.
Last week, yeah.
All right. You scared me.
All right. So you were tweeting last night, and you are pretty much tired of something specifically that is done around Shohei Ohtani.
Well, we've lost the plot here, man.
All right, we'll get to that coming up next. Bennett Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
I mean, I was not aware of this, what just happened in the chat. I'll get to my Shohei Ohtani complaining in a moment, but I noticed both of you guys were a little bit off, a little bit slow on the uptake during the Reindl Report.
It was extremely hard to focus.
And I said, what is happening? Apparently, there was somebody in our chat that said, Adam gets mad when I say the word, but it said, no, it didn't. It wasn't ass.
There it is on. I can show the comment on the stream.
Show your. I can't even dance around it anymore. There's a word
rectum. Is that the word you're looking for?
Oh, man.
I don't know that I can recover from that. Damn near killed him.
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
Hole is what the thing.
Colon?
And he said it.
Well, he said it once.
And then he yelled it.
Like this.
In all caps. Show your.
And then in all caps, like a minute later.
Now, I haven't seen it.
That was at 9:08. So, yeah, right in the middle of the segment.
Paul's
I'm
like, anyway, some bartenders don't really like. And then the guy's like, show me your.
I mean, you brought it up. I was trying to ignore it.
I get you were trying to help. But Adam won't let me say it. He doesn't like that word. It's not one of the 7.
Give the listener what he wants.
Yeah,
Here
yeah, it's not one of the 7 dirty words, but he doesn't like it, so I can't say it. And then you just blurt that out.
It's just a medical term.
I get it. It's not only that I don't like it. We could get in trouble. No, we couldn't. We cannot. If I say that guy is a blank, we're not going to get in trouble. From who? The FCC? They're not going to do anything. There's
the morality police.
Who are they?
I think
Where are they people? Where are those people?
They're around.
They don't listen anyway.
Thank you, Guznator. He just extended his YouTube membership for 15 months and says, let them say it,
15
Adam.
15 months? Wow.
I don't even know if we're going to have a show in 15
Adam
months.
says the if we keep talking about this, we may not. But Adam says, yes, the morality police. Yeah, I'm a rule guy. I am actually a rule guy. And the way that I look at it is that if there's a rule that the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, puts into place, I will abide by that rule. And I think shouldn't that be the only rules that we have to follow?
We have a lot of kids who listen. No.
But this is not a show for kids. This isn't Bluey. If it was on Bluey, I'd be like, hey, we got a problem here. Our demo is adults 25-54. Adults. It's right there. 25 to 54. So here's the rules. Follow these rules. Well, it's no problem. Here's some extra rules that I made up. That's what I have a problem with. Innocuous. Because you can say but. You can say the other one, but you cannot say. You can, though. You can. I can call Ben that word and not get fined. I'm pretty sure. Because it's not on the list. It's also how you use it.
Yes.
Like I can say I'm pissed off, but I can't say I. Right. So you know what I mean? So
being pissed off is better than never mind.
Anyway, Adam says hashtag pretty sure. But you get back to me on those rules because I remember when Stern was fighting.
See him from his desk.
I remember when Stern was fighting the FCC, he's like, all right, by the letter of the law, I can say blank, 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 and he did, and he overset him, and it made you nervous because it was terrestrial radio. You're talking about 1992 or something, and he's dropping all kinds of words that you're like, whoo, it's not on the 7 dirty words or whatever.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying. So, but yeah, I think that's an in-house rule. You know, like we make up in-house rules. That's fine. But anyway, this guy was yelling at us to do that, and we're not going to do that. That's a line I will not cross, Benjamin.
Okay, well,
Ben said he'll do it on the member stream.
My plan for the segment. I can say that word.
I can say that whole
that word.
What in the world?
All this guy.
It's all he
shock
thinks about.
jock. Good God.
Oh my Lord.
It's not a curse word.
I am sweating.
My intention was for you to get off the Shohei Ohtani stuff off your chest.
Well,
But now I feel like we need to take a break.
No, I can do it real quick. Every move that guy, the guy's batting about $190 since the break, right? Like, he's not been playing well. He had a triple last night. Not only did they give us a MLB, the account, not only did they give us a slow-mo of him running the bases, they gave us a slow-mo of him sliding into third. Like, people don't slide into bases on a regular basis. Not like that. So I made a joke last night. He had a horrible swing.
So, Pinching Ninja showed him striking out against Bryce Miller and just basically flailing away and missing.
Nasty pitch.
And your tweet, which I retweeted.
Yes, I never get a retweet from Ben.
And should I retweet? Do you retweet me much?
All the time.
I know you like my tweets. And I like your tweets a lot, but I don't retweet a ton of them. I figure people who follow me follow you.
That's
they
fair.
don't need me to retweet it, but I thought this was clear. You said, if MLB tweeted this, Shohei with a healthy cut.
That's exactly right, man. They do the ones like, man.
The best tweets have a kernel of truth behind them. And
he didn't hit a homer, but imagine if he did. I mean, it's like the Arenado play at third.
But then later they showed this triple. Like
him sliding into third.
Like it was the most amazing thing in the world.
It's
and
so
it was a triple, and he runs well and ran all the way to third and slid into third, but there was nothing inherently amazing about it. It was just a normally hit ball to the outfield that he ran to third on.
Even like Trey Turner's crazy slide.
That slide was amazing.
Those are cool.
Worth a replay.
Oh, that slide was incredible. I get it. You get that one deserves some love. But again, it's
just
like,
because Shohei does it doesn't make it more special than when other people do it.
The other night, somebody hit a line drive to first, and Freddie Freeman jumped 1 inch off the ground and made a catch, and they're like, Freddie goes up to get it, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding. I get it. It's the Dodgers. You gotta do it. But I don't care. I'm not mad. I just find it really amusing when they do that.
It's like,
you guys, it's Freddie Freeman. You know he's not jumping 3 feet in the air. It was this far off the ground. He caught it, came down, and they're like, Freddie goes up to get it.
I do understand. There's only one player in baseball that's bringing in an entire segment of advertising by himself. There's a reason why you see
I totally
Nexen Tires ads. At Petco Park. And honestly, it's mostly because of Shohei Ohtani.
It's a good bit. I did it as a bit, and I'm going to continue to do it as a bit. Like this way, nobody spits seeds like Shohei. It's just him sitting on the bench. It's really, really funny.
It's like in Space Jam when Michael Jordan goes to play baseball and he strikes out and he's dejected, walks back to the bench, and they're all like, great job, Mike, great job, man. And the guy sits down, he's pissed. The guy sits down next to him, he goes, hey, Mike, that was a good looking strikeout, man. When I strike out, it's ugly, but when you strike out, it looks
good
great.
Swing. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Come on.
I know. It's pretty
It's
funny.
not going to stop. I promise you that. It will not stop. We will be force-fed Shohei Ohtani until the end of his career. All right, Padres are going for a sweep this afternoon. I would have taken 2 out of 3, but now I'm greedy.
If they win, will you do what that guy asked you to do?
No, I will not.
So you don't love the team then?
I mean, not on our YouTube stream, that's for sure.
And I guess I'll go ahead and tell you guys what Adam Klug came in at the break and asked me to do. And it wasn't that. You guys will get a kick out of this.
It's coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Padres wrap up their 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins this afternoon, and then no day off, right into a 4-game series against the New York Mets beginning tomorrow. And in tomorrow's game, Thursday's game, the first 40,000 fans in attendance will take home the Fernando Tatis Jr. City Connect bucket hat, which I am poorly modeling right now. It's a little small for me. Woods, why don't you try that on for everybody?
I don't want to mess
first
my hair
40,000 fans arrive early. Gates open 90 minutes before first pitch. It's I have the Joe Musgrove one that I wear almost daily on my dog walks. You look good.
I don't.
Just like Mud does.
Nope.
When he puts it on.
I don't look good in
Learn
this.
more at Padres.com/giveaways. That's a 6:40 start tomorrow night. Then while we're doing this, next homestand, the Detroit Tigers will be in town September 2nd. That's Labor Day. And then Wednesday and Thursday, the 4th and the 5th. The City Connect hoodie giveaway on Wednesday, September 4th. Another first 40,000 fans presented by Southwest Airlines. This one, pink mint sleeves, all the City Connect colors, 5 different sizes. Again, 90 minutes before first pitch. Padres.com/giveaways.
People call us shills. Is this what they mean? Me wearing this hat right now?
I'd prefer to think of us as good partners with the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
It's no reason not to get that information out to everybody.
Well, I don't look good in this at all.
It's an opinion. Some people may Some people may think you look great in that. It's all a matter of personal opinion.
This is not. I'm not made for it.
It's not. I mean, it's a choice. Your kids might look good in it.
Fernando Tatis Jr. I've done the list before. Fernando Tatis Jr., Liam Gallagher. That's it. That's the only two on the planet that look like. Some people can wear it, fine.
AJ Preller can wear one.
I think so.
There's a difference in wearing them and pulling them off. And only those two guys that I can think of off the top of my head can pull it off. You think about Dick Cavett. Remember him? That was his bit for many years, and he would come on talk shows, and you're like, bro, come on. Are you joking right now? What, you off to fish? What are you doing? Like, I never understood it. So it doesn't look good on me. It never has.
Is that the Gilligan hat? Or is
the
that
Gilligan hat.
Gilligan
looked like a huge nerd. Huge nerd when he wore that thing. I don't look good in it. But you know what that means for the Padre fans? That's one less you got to worry about. More for you. If I don't want it, that's more for you guys. Ben wears his, and it infuriates me. God, it makes me so mad when he wears it. I get infuriated when I see it.
Infuriated? I think the brown and gold one looks fine.
It makes me infuriated.
It protects me from the sun.
I understand.
Which is what I'm going for.
But, like, how much protection do you need on a 20-minute dog walk? You put some sunscreen on, you're good.
It adds up. I don't want to put on sunscreen for just a 20-minute walk. I just want to put on a big floppy hat that protects, my ears and face from the rays of the sun. And my Joe Musgrove floppy hat works very well for that.
All right, somebody said I was wearing it too far forward. I need to wear it further back.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Now we have...
That's way better.
This is terrible.
Now you look like you're going fishing.
This is a horrible look for me. But I hope you guys enjoy them. I think if I was going to wear it, I would put it down a little bit more.
Oh, now you look like the guy from Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. Another fat joke. This is not my favorite
Fat
day.
Albert, though.
Yeah.
It was the other guy.
The other guy. I know what you're talking about. Mushmouth?
Yeah. I don't remember all the other characters'
I loved
names.
Fat Albert so much when I was a kid. Oh, so much. Yeah, this is not for me, but it's for you guys. It's for you guys, so enjoy it.
All right, we're going to check traffic, and then
LL Cool J looks good in it, too.
Look ahead to the series finale today against the Minnesota Twins next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few problems wrapping up our morning drive. One is this collision on westbound 8, right before the 805. It's got the fast lane block. Couple vehicles involved. Also westbound 52 near the 805. There is a collision. No details as to whether that's blocking lanes. Going to find eastbound 78 right before College. Accident involving a couple vehicles. That's being cleared over to the right shoulder. Still this crash on southbound side of the 15 before Rancho Bernardo Road. It's in the clearing stage over to the right shoulder. On the coastline southbound 5 before Cassidy Street. Reports of a tire in the right lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, that would be Dumb Donald.
Dumb Donald.
Like,
I thought it was Mushmouth.
Mushmouth did not wear the bucket hat all the way over his eyes.
Okay.
There's also Weird Harold, Bucky, Rudy Davis, and Fat Albert. Were the characters. All right, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Floor & Decor. Unbeatable prices, unmatched in-stock selection. Floor & Decor has more styles of laminate, vinyl, tile, wood, and stone. For anyone looking for the right look at the right price, your next beautiful space is at Floor & Decor. Floor & Decor, unbeatable prices, unmatched in-stock selection. All right, game 3 of the series, and Matt Waldron is back on the mound.
Need a little rebound from Matty.
We know exactly what is coming today. Either he'll get through the first couple of innings and probably pitch a really good game, or he'll have trouble in the first couple of innings and put the Padres in a hole that they're going to have to try to climb out of. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it has not gone that well in the last couple of starts for Matt Waldron. And the Minnesota Twins will be looking to at least salvage the series finale today at 3:40, early game today, 2:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt back on pregame, I believe, and Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn back into the radio booth with, I think, is Don returning today, I would assume?
I'm not sure. I think so.
I'm not sure. I just know that Sammy's not calling the game. I know a lot of people said
back. Mud's off until tomorrow.
So maybe Tony still on TV and Jesse and Bob on radio. So anyway, there was always going to happen. Sam wasn't just going to keep doing games until they lost. But Jesse has also been doing games, so there's no reason he's not a good luck charm also. Who's pitching for the Twins?
It is Simeon Woods Richardson. And for the Padres, you talked about Matt Waldron, Benny, and I was just looking up a couple of his numbers, man. He has given up 18 bombs in 10 games. The susceptible to the long ball, certainly, but you can't understate what Matt Waldron did for this team when they needed him the most. So got to ride with Matty Knuckles today. He was one of our most consistent, if not the most consistent starter that we had as they tried to kind of piece it together. And now that the team is really rounded into form and the bullpen's kind of rounded into shape, you really would love to see Matty Waldron get back on that horse today, give you some, not only some length, but some girth and some quality start type situation. You know what I'm saying? 6 innings, 3 runs or less. Go out there, and the way the guys are playing right now, you know, they, trust me, like no one will say it. They know. They know that Matt Waldron has scuffled a little bit, and there's going to be a little bit of extra juice to try to pick him up today. But, you know, he still gets his punch outs, man. He gets his punchies, but the runs, 7 earned runs last game, 5 before that, then 1, then 5, 3, 1, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2. So, yeah, man, good start, good clean first inning, man. It will go a long, long way for Matt Waldron today.
The numbers, the two starting pitchers, are actually pretty similar. Simeon Woods Richardson has not pitched as many innings, but their whip, 1.17 versus 1.19. A little less than a hit per inning, about 1 strikeout per inning for both of them, about 1/3 of a walk per inning. Both of these guys have put up very similar numbers over the course of the season. So should be a fairly even matchup for the final game of the series as the Padres look to complete the sweep.
Even matchup, even teams. I mean, these guys they were talking about on the broadcast last night, they're damn near mirror images of each other. The only difference I see right now is Duran hurt or something? Why isn't he pitching for the Twins?
Well, he pitched 3 out of the 4 games going into the series. So my guess is he was down the first day, and then they didn't have a chance to bring him in. They were probably going to bring him in.
Yeah, had they
had the lead there, and they didn't. But I would assume he's very rested and ready to go now for today if they have a lead.
Which is all the more reason to try to get as many runs as you can early. He is one of the filthiest closers in baseball. You do not want to get to the 9th inning, and he's... if anybody can do it, we can. But you'd prefer to miss him entirely.
And of course, Padres used Scott and Suarez both of the last 2 days.
Yep.
Adam did not pitch yesterday, so you probably have a somewhat fresh Jason Adam, Morejon, Estrada, all available.
Yeah.
If you needed Suarez again for a 3rd day, probably could, but I would guess you'd
31 pitches.
Like to avoid him if you could.
You'd like to avoid him. So again, good reason to really, really try to key in on offense, get some runs early, figure out how how to get to Woods Richardson and really give your starter Matt Waldron, some support because he needs it, and he's got to return the favor, man, and try to limit the damage, through 5 or 6 innings today. But yeah, I mean, got as good a chance as any to win this ball game against this team today.
Yeah, you've got to think if the Padres are going to the playoffs and are going to be in a 5-game or 7-game series, you're probably going to still need Matt Waldron.
Depending if Yu Darvish comes back or not. And, there's no reason to think that he will right now.
Obviously, King and Cease.
Yep.
And if Musgrove continues on the track that he's on, he'll be one of your starters as well. But you'll need a fourth starter.
You will.
It could be Waldron if Darvish isn't back. I don't know that Perez is the guy yet, but you'll have a couple of options at least at the back end of your rotation.
Yeah, so Pod's on at 3:40 today, 3:40 start. Looking forward to that, certainly. Before we get out of here, though, our boss walked in this morning about 10 minutes ago. He said, I got a great idea. And I said, well, what's that? Yeah, when he says it's a great idea, you want to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. You guys remember this. We played it yesterday and last week.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue.
Yeah,
this is our
great
Colts.
song.
Whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Broncos. Let's show them who the real horse is. This is our team. Go Colts!
All right. So he walked in and said, hey, I've just been thinking about, I got an idea. I said, yeah? What if you recreated that, but you changed the words for the Padres? Because I feel like it would feed families. And I said, well, it's not going to feed any families, number one, right? But it's also a terrible idea. Me recreating that, but like this, these are our pods. This is our team. We love
pods. So you need to keep it to one syllable.
Pods, yeah.
Yeah.
We bleed brown.
Brown.
Which is weird to say. If you're bleeding brown, you have a problem. You have a serious problem.
Go to a doctor right now.
ASAP. And Adam said, put it in the chat. People will agree with me. And I go, no, they won't. Nobody wants to hear that. Plus, it's not an original idea. I'm just copying that guy, right?
He wants to go viral.
So badly.
How viral is that really going to go? I think
it's
very
not,
limited potential.
It would get 14 likes, and the only thing it would do would be embarrass me. That's it. Why doesn't he ever ask you to do this stuff? Now, that would break the internet, I think, if you did it. But it's not going to do it if it's me.
I'm probably more likely to do it than you are, actually.
Probably. Tino says, no more songs, please. I love the song.
Oh, the songs are continuing.
Yeah, the songs are going to continue. I love that guy, and I love the songs, and I love that he's into it. But, yeah, that is also, this is a great point. That could be like the new that's what's in if I did it. And if they start losing. That's what's in. If they start losing.
You're a dead man.
I'm moving to Canada if that happens because I don't want to be responsible for the downfall of the Padres. And I feel like a video like that could do it. I mean, you really have to be confident in your team. And I am, but there's no way. I'm not going to be that guy.
All right. One more kiss of the Rally Roach.
Yeah, one more kiss of the Roach. That I will do.
Before the end of the show. Paul, you still have the Rally Roach over there? Just for good vibes.
El Rocho.
It has been working so far. So let's continue on with the Rally Roach. And we'll see if the Padres can. This is a series I did not expect to sweep. I was hoping for 2 out of 3. I knew it was going to be evenly matched. So a little gravy opportunity this afternoon against the Minnesota Twins. And then we will be back tomorrow. Don't forget, it's not only 6 to 10, but it's also Roundtable Thursday tomorrow. Yes. Woods, you going to wear your polo? You haven't been wearing your polo lately.
Nah.
Annie and Elston are coming up next for Paul Reindl, our executive producer and imaging director, and Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.